All right. I guess jumping fairly quickly right back into last session, your party had, after returning to the mainland, meeting up surprisingly quickly, almost accidentally, actually entirely accidentally, with the second half of your party, caught up a little bit, talked with each other, separated yet again, this time leaving them to investigate a mountainous location that seemingly held another outpost of the Iron Shepherds. Your party headed inwards into Rexingtrum to follow the request of Godwin for unfinished business and to help try and find and save his brother. Godwin talked to some people around the city, brought your party to Astrid, who hired the entire party, more or less, the remaining people at Rexingtrum, to clear out her magical basement, as she put it, as things have gone wrong, and she doesn't trust herself in melee against things as strong as what she put as rock golems that seemingly self-replicate. Your party accepted it for the wide promised prize of 20,000 gold and the favor of an archmage. The only big catch was that none of you could remember anything that happened on the inside due to some magical effects she had personally employed for a long time to make sure they were permanent. You entered at the behest of Astrid, being waved inside, and noticed the first room that comes to memory now, at least, become very fuzzy and blurry. The next thing you remember is Godwin rushing out of the door, stumbling, cut and bruised by all sorts of different slashing and bludgeoning attacks. Tumbling out behind them is the rest of the party, Skins being the final one out, seemingly on the verge of panic that you can't remember why. As soon as you walk through the door, you see several cloaked figures, not cloaked, more robed than anything, begin to hurry and help your party. Your party is more or less drug at a quick pace directly to the sitting room, where you note several clerics are posted up. The door you hear slam behind you, and you are all set down in the nicely stuffed chairs as Astrid leans over. You got them all right? Okay, good. You all rest. Clerics, I'm assuming this one's the most injured, points to Godwin. The others spare it out evenly. This one looks really frail, though. The clerics begin to cast simple healing spells just to ensure you survive, none of them seemingly being powerful enough to restore you fully in any capacity. And now you guys are sitting in the common sitting room with just enough chairs to sit your party, plus Astrid. Relatively small, but spacious enough to be comfortable. And far too many people for it to be comfortable, all surrounding you. They are more or less waiting on you guys to spark conversation and give yourselves a breath before continuing.
Skins is going to be the first person speaking. He doesn't remember a single thing that what happened in there besides like the first room that he saw. He's going to just like rub his head, his body filled with like sores and some slashes. He just simply rubs his head. It's like, oh, if this is what a hangover feels like, I do not want to drink. Oh God. Oh. He kind of just like rubs his head on the couch.
How injured are we?
Severely
what?
so. Like, you guys are to the point where when you rushed out of here, you could probably consider yourselves at 12 HP. Like, each of you at like 12 HP. Not specifically, but that's just a thing I'm going to cover for all of you by just saying 12. And you also note that, like, any magic is, like, lackluster and slow. Not, like, in the fact that you can't do it. It's more like you're exhausted. and you note that you do have an exhaustion point right now.
Oh,
You guys are entirely out of all spells. You have 0 remaining spells. And yeah, you're pretty beat up and have obviously been fighting hard for a good portion of time.
William will wake up, looking around, not remembering what's happening. He's gonna look through his pockets. Does he find everything he ever had?
The only thing you note is that none of your healing supplies remain except for that healing pouch. Like the thing she gave you to cover you if you ran out of healing potions.
I didn't even have any healing potions.
Any of you though, that any healing magic items that you may have, your party has expended for the day, or if their potions are out of entirely.
Uh, so I still have everything. What about a specific item?
Oh, you know that seemingly your crystal has gone missing. Yes, the 5,000 gold piece gem that you appraised and that was extremely valuable, and you were kind of questioning what to do with, is no longer there.
Is those people still in here?
Yeah, there's a like what you know is a squad of what seems to be like servants, different levels of mages. Like they seem to be from the school, the Solstice Academy. All of them in different levels of robes, likely to try and address any problems you came out with. Several clerics as well. But there's
I will
probably all in all
yell.
10 people in this room other than you guys, including Astrid.
I will yell out to all of them, asking where that ruby is. If they stole it or anything.
Several of them pat
Skin.
down. Several wizards casted locate object. Astrid herself cast locate object. Looks around, and eventually her eyes settle on Godwin, and look at his chest. The man's got it in his chest right now. Don't know how you're gonna get back out, but there is what I see. I think a little bit of an indent, so maybe he has it covered at the moment. But you could probably try and tear it out of his chest. Who knows how well that'll go for his body, though.
In him?
Yeah,
I'm gonna look
it's
in.
right where his heart should be. And she like points toward it and like pokes him on the right pec, or left pec. I mean, yeah, right there.
I was gonna keep that for a certain moment or sell it. I'm gonna look inside of his chest and see if I could see it.
You pry back the shirt and gaze into the hole in his chest, and it's really hard to see, but you can, with your dark vision, know a crystalline structure laying over what would be one of the major arteries of the heart and blocking the rest of it from view. And seemingly like intermingled with the artery to the point where it's like growing over the crystal.
And Godwin's still asleep. So I
No, they're
will.
awake. You're
Oh,
all conscious. You're just all extremely on the verge of death.
Godwin. What? What?
What are you going on about?
My ruby is in you.
You put it in me?
I didn't put it in you.
Then how did it get in there?
I'm asking you that.
Guys, please, shut up. Shut up, I have a massive headache. We were warned that once we got out, we wouldn't remember anything, and I don't remember a single thing. All I know is I have a massive headache, and I feel like I'm going to die.
Is this your first hangover?
Uh, uh, just give me a second. I need to, oh, ow,
Get some water. That'll help.
maybe. Can I get a glass of water, please? As he asks one of the clerics around.
Yeah. One of the clerics pull out of canteen and hand it over.
Skins, just quickly opens the canister and then just starts chugging it.
Yeah, that's definitely what you meant to say.
Shut up.
You said something about runes. Do we have them on our body? Is that what I heard?
Runes?
I remember like last session I heard something about runes going on.
Um,
I probably
No.
heard. Okay, then I heard wrong. Never
The
mind.
only thing I think I may have said was that there were runes on the door, but
Yeah,
those
there
runes
you go.
were attributed to the false creaking sound and likely a sending intercom.
Got
They
it.
weren't attributed to any sort of attacks or on your body. At least
All
that you
right.
can remember, but you remember most of your entrance.
So I heard wrong. Gordon, do you want to try to get that out of you, or?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Nah. I'm surprised you're even alive. They said that like if you like weren't worthy enough, you would probably die. Huh.
Yes, and
How do you feel?
if stronger, I suppose. Well,
Hmm.
it's hard to tell right now, though, because, well, right now I feel like hell.
Jens, you said you were gonna write everything down to remember. Did you write anything? Can you just
I
tell what
don't
we did?
I don't care about that right now, William. I just want to get the gold and go to sleep. That's all I want right now. I just, Skins kind of like looks tiredly at Astrid. Do we? I don't remember if we did the job or not, but did we get the gold?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't sent anyone in to check, or myself. I'm probably going to head with a squad down there to make sure there are no more rock creatures. And if there aren't, I will return and pay you. Wait here for the remainder of the day, or wander around and come back. I would recommend waiting, though, as you're extremely dangerously close to death. And I will be back shortly.
Duly noted.
Alright. And then she shouts out to a few of the minor wizards and one of the clerics to follow her. Unless you have any questions or anything you want to ask before I leave, I will be back in about 6 hours.
I don't have any questions. Skins is gonna rub his head once more.
Alright, she heads off with the rest of the squad down into the staircase.
Alright, so as soon as they do that, Skins is just gonna continue rubbing his head, looks at Godwin, uh, looks at the passed out BL. Alright, I guess if we're waiting, we might as well see if I remember to do anything. Hopefully. Let me see real quick. Know me by name, Shepherd of Fire. Okay. Alright, so Skins pulls out a leather journal from his like little satchel you see. Uh, However, it seems to be kind of battered and heavily damaged. Skins flipping through the pages. Seemingly the first like few pages seem perfectly fine, but then you get like somewhere down the middle of the journal. You then see like some pages are a bit like torn, and some seem to have a bunch of ink spilt all over them. Skins kind of like looks at this a bit worryingly, and then he goes to check the back of his journal, is where you see a bunch of maps are kind of connected but folded together. Seeing them that they're okay, kind of just sighs in relief, and then just goes back to the middle where he sees the damaged parts. He tries to figure out what parts are readable and what parts are eligible. Through the pages, you kind of see some words that could have said something, but it's either covered with ink or the pages have been torn off. However, Skins does find a paper that does have some words on it. You can read on it. It goes, third day in this basement, and these rock golems attacked us. There were 6 of them, and they almost killed us. I swear I felt my veins were on fire when we slain them. Worse yet, that crystal I was highly scared of William using was the only way we could save Godwin from being on his deathbed. His body weirdly tightened, and he was convulsing worryingly. Nimi couldn't do anything for him, and our potions weren't working on him. We had to pull out immediately after Biel took out the last golem. I hope whatever William puts in him works, or worse, make it harder for Godwin to live. I hope I don't. I won't. I hope I won't have to be the one to relay bad news to Godwin's brother. Skins continues flipping through the pages. Once again, just a lot of them ink splotched and barely recognizable. Until a finally another page appeared. Day unknown. I lost my train of thought after what happened. I was grateful when I saw Godwin wake up from what seemed like a coma. William did a noble thing, but it was risky. I hate how reckless he is. But for some reason, things seem to work out okay when he does do something like that. We only found one of these healing stations. Damn Archmage. And then you see a little note to self written in all caps down at the bottom. Never accept to clean an Archmage's basement. uh, he continues scrolling once more. Finally, seeing another page once more. This one seeming to be a bit shorter. Something seems off about this place. My instincts are screaming at me, but I don't know yet. Hopefully, I'll remember what I felt. Valinor, protect me, wherever you are. And then when he flips the page once more, you then see artwork that is neatly drawn with sketches of what Skins presumably saw in the room. With above the artwork names that he'd given them. This one being the smithy room. Uh, this place was, as it's named after, a smithy room with slumped over iron golems with Godwin standing next to it with his arms crossed. He seemed to have been thinking. Another room was sketched that had kegs with a detailed sketch of Biel and William drinking from a damaged one with rocks around it. There were lines forming from Biel and William that led to the word something written in Goblin, which I know Damien can, but can anyone else speak or write Goblin? Hello?
Well, I can, of course, but like you said, but I don't think it really matters. After this again.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
They
Well, yeah. Okay. Assuming Damien's the only one. Damien sees two lines above William and Biel written in Goblin, saying "Idiot 1, Idiot 2."
Dumb and Dumber.
And this one was called the Keg Room. The another page, once again filled with a drawing, was the resting room that Skins had mentioned beforehand. It was a room with a circle with stones around it, with a pool of sparkling water. This one doesn't have Skins in the drawing, but it has everyone, including Nemi, Biel, Godwin, and William, just all resting at it. This one is called the one rest spot. And he finally gets to one last sketch. This one seeming to be a circular room that seems mostly empty with darkened with shaded doors. But this one seems to have splotches of blood and doesn't seem to be completed. And Skins kind of like flips the page once more, seeing nothing else written. I think that's it. Then he closes the book and puts it back in his satchel.
And my age is 1 or 2, Skins.
Definitely Idiot 1.
Yeah, I was the first. Well, Godwin, I saved your life, I guess. Even if we don't remember that.
I suppose you did.
Huh.
What was I feeling? Was it's probably best not to dwell on it. I can't remember a single thing. But this does leave a lot of questions. I suppose there's not really much we can do unless we go back in there. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to listen to my past self and never go to another Archmage's basement ever again. So, there's that going on for us.
Well, if we do walk in there, she's probably gonna have to turn off the memory wipe thing, because she's also in there. So we could see what's in there.
I don't think that's a great idea, William.
There, I was just saying we could go in there if we really need to. There's really probably no threat.
Well, there's a threat of her, and I don't want to have to fight an archmage. So I'm just willing to sit here and take a nap. And then almost immediately, Skin slumps over the couch and just starts snoring.
Can I make a medicine or arcana check on the ruby?
The ruby in his
With
chest.
yeah.
I mean,
What?
you already did before, and there isn't
Yeah,
much benefit. You understand that you pretty much understand its capabilities as best you're going to get without a identify spell. Identify is the best thing that could happen, but since you guys didn't truly identify it, you did identify, but there is a limit to basic knowledge. As I told you it was technically cursed before, but that curse was seemingly beneficial. That you couldn't get beyond that. And this, right now, it extends life, which is both a curse, a blessing, and in exchange for something about yourself, some sort of level of power, you could have plenty of benefits. But if you're too weak, you could just be killed or be permanently hampered in a lot of ways. Right now, these things already. These things are already known. You just don't know what Godwin has, and that can't be told unless he tells you. He's the only one who can know that.
Okay. I kind of know it's like keeping him alive or somewhat.
Seemingly, his heart is no longer beating, and even if it did beat irregularly before, or in a way that wouldn't be a fully complete functional person, and like a little bit slowly or such, because of his augmentation to himself, his heart is no longer beating at all. It seems it's not like rotted away or anything, but it doesn't seem to be active.
Godwin, I feel like you're. Oh, sorry, I have to go eat. I gotta go eat dinner. So never mind. Bye.
Go, bring
Okay.
it in here. Bring it in here.
I can't.
Well, we were back down to 3 players.
That's fine. It's only temporarily, at least. Hopefully, maybe.
Who knows? Maybe Chase will like decide to not be useless and wake up.
Chase just joins with an orchestra behind him. It's like, oh.
Bury the light playing in his wake.
All right. Well,
So what's the party doing? Are they just going to rest here for a little bit?
Yeah,
Suppose
Godwin
so.
is out, bro. He's not doing nothing.
Skin just slumped over.
All right. So you guys both being slumped. Nemi as well. You are guarded by these remaining wizards and cleric. 6 hours later, as you guys are attempting to get a long rest, more or less, the Archmage Astrid returns with the remaining crew. She is not injured, and you are awakened by more or less her politely, but telling you that she doesn't have time to waste. Like grunting, not grunting, but like making a little coughing gesture, more or less, how you would like like a teacher. And then when that didn't work against BL, she like kicks the back of the seat he's in and just walks by like she didn't do it, but everybody else saw she did it. Once you're all actively awake, she takes several bags of gold coins out of a magical pouch of hers that she seemingly has re-equipped after exiting the dungeon area. This right here is your payments. 20,000 gold. Split it however you want. You have my gratitude. Yeah, you cleared all the creatures out. They're no longer replicating. Not sure what it is you did, because as far as I recognize, all that's remaining is rubble. Not sure what's creating them or what makes them spontaneously create themselves, but I guess victory was achieved one way or another. So, here you go. And she begins to throw the pouches out onto the chair next to you that she's not sitting in at the moment.
Alright, let me do some maths real quick. 20,000 divided by
5.
5. 4,000 gold, people! 4,000 gold!
I don't
You're
see why you
making
guys
bank.
don't just retire. You easily could. You know that, right?
We could, yeah. But we have a lot of loose ends.
Loose ends are how you get yourself killed, and not the fact that they're left loose. The fact that people like to solve them.
That's true.
That's just my advice. I left my line of work with plenty of loose ends open. I had work that should have technically been completed before I was allowed to ascend to this position. I just decided to ignore it. No one ever questioned me on it once I was an archmage, and no one ever was going to say, you can't be an archmage because of it. Because I was the archmage already.
Well, it's not like we can actively ignore this one.
Well, I'm not going to press any other matters, but
Shit, sorry.
information-wise, I will let you go on in a second, Godwin. Information-wise, you can talk to Luke the Archmage. Tell him you have a favor from me, and I believe you helped him once before. While you were gone, I talked to him. So, you should relatively easily get the information you need. Like, instantly. There will be no delay. You might just have to find the brother. Just don't know where he is. Once again, you have to talk to him. But what was it you were going to say, Godwin?
You're mudded.
God dang it. Thanks, Sean. Well, Patrick, if I am ever in the position to take your job, I will gladly retire.
She laughs at that and just goes, maybe one day. But I'm only, I don't know, 50? I've got another 30 years or so if you could do that. Unless you decide you want to fight me. And she has a mischievous grin on. Do you want to fight? We can, right now.
Not even I am pompous enough to think I am stronger than you, so I think I will pass.
I don't know. You're getting close. Not too close, but close enough for me to start worrying soon. I think I'll retire either way, whether or not you come for me. I might give you this position. I just might give you this position. 10 years from now, maybe. Just bide your time. Grow up a little bit. You're still extremely young, and I don't want another corrupt archmage to enter while I'm on watch. Anyways, I once again am a very busy person, and I've just spent 6 hours combing my dungeon. You guys can leave if you want, or rest here until you're rejuvenated, and then head out. Heads up, it has been about, I don't know, 2 weeks or so since you entered. I kind of lost track. So, expect people to think you've been gone for more than you believe you've been gone for. It wasn't instant.
And that's nothing compared to what we've done before.
Fair enough.
And
I will see
then,
you guys next time you need any assistance, or I need any assistance. And she begins to try and head up her staircase.
as Astrid begins walking away, he did feel a little bit more rested than normal, but he as soon as he sees her gone from his vision, he looks over at Biel, and then just falls asleep on his lap again, waiting for that 2 more hours.
The others in the room, the clerics, knowing that you're stable, and the other wizards, knowing this tower is likely fairly safe, begin to disband as the remainder of your party, I guess, falls back into a slumber. Or at least Skins does, and BL does as well. Are you guys just going to wait until morning? More or less?
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Alright. Waiting until morning. You wake up in this same comfortable room, though with a strange, since there's no windows, almost daylight-like effect shining in from all angles of these marble walls, almost like they're very, 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 very slightly translucent, though you know they're really not. And it's likely a magical effect. The day is yours. The greatest city of the Empire is entirely at your disposal. You're fully rested, and Lucas's tower is just across the way. You recognize it by its strange ashen door. Specifically, Skins recognizes it because Skins and William were there before.
I feel so much better. Skin says as he stretches, getting out of Astrid's room. Going over to the door. Skins kind of like looks at it for a moment. Skins then looks at Godwin. You want to ask to see if he's here? I mean, you're the one who's asking the question.
I must admit, I am a little nervous.
Don't be. Luke is an okay person. And if I recall, I think there's someone living with him. I think, if I recall correctly, it's his mom. So, I think we're fine. Don't be too nervous. Just ask whatever you gotta ask, and things might go okay.
Right. Godwin's gonna walk up to the door, and he's gonna bang on it.
You walk up to the door, your fist connecting with force, but similar to, almost exactly to, the last time they were here. Your hand thuds softly against the ash instead, seemingly just muffling the sound to nothing. Where you near immediately hear the groggy voice, as this is early in the morning, of Luke appearing out of a rune that glows and flashes slightly on top of the door. He just goes, I don't have any appointments this early. What?
We have been. Oh no, we are here on our own accord, but with a favor from Astrid.
Astrid? Why is Astrid sending people here? I don't have. She doesn't owe me a favor. I don't owe her a favor.
Well, Godwin takes a deep breath and sighs. We just completed a job for her, and she pointed us to you. I am looking for my brother.
And who might your brother be? That doesn't ring any bells. Plenty of people have brothers.
His name is insert Blake's character's name here.
Yeah. That's interesting. He's not here. He's not at all. We actually sent him out not too long ago. It was some affront to nature that he insisted he had to deal with. It's in the Kryn dynasty. I think he went to the Barbed Fields, and he wanted to know why no druid had cured it before and do his own research or something. I'm not sure.
Right.
But come inside, and the ash door like folds and turns to like a super thin layer and into nothingness to allow you to step in. We'll talk about it here in a second. I don't know exactly where he's going. I'll give you ways to locate him. Just give me one moment to get out of bed. And the rune shuts off, and you hear a door creaking open almost immediately. As you head inside, the inside is fairly similar to Astrid's sitting room, except everything is sized for a halfling. There are no really normal sized chairs, and therefore most of your party has to stand or sit uncomfortably. There's like one sofa that could sit two people, and there's at least four of you who have to sit. So if you tried to sit down, it would be more uncomfortable than just standing. Eventually, a small halfling man, somewhat darker skin, but kind of like the mixed skin tone. He comes down with relatively short hair and a newly acquired Cerberus robe, very ruffled and obviously not ironed or anything well. He steps down, combing over his hair with his hands, and just kind of immediately plopping down in one of the seats and rubbing his eyes. So why are you searching for this guy? He's your brother. Why don't you know your brother?
Well, we were separated when we were very young.
Separated? I understand. You were probably separated before I became Archmage, weren't you? How old are you?
I am 27 this year.
Yeah, that means you were separated about 2 years before I could even... Well, no, that would be if you were separated at birth. I didn't separate
Yes.
you guys. Strange. Maybe I just, like, adopted somehow. I'm not sure. But I know he's under my tutelage, yes. He, right now, yes, he's in the Kryn dynasty. He said he was heading to the Barbed Fields. Probably going to make his way to what he called the King's Tomb. No idea what it is, no idea what it means, but he said he wanted to research it, as he figured something to do with immortal creatures coming out of it is an affront to nature, alongside the Barbed Fields being affront to nature. He's strongly devoted in his druidic ways, and he insisted I let him go, or he would refuse to do any of the minor tasks I give him. I decided I don't care. I have nothing major for him to do. So I sent him. If you want to find him, you're going to have to just go there. It's a dangerous walk and a dangerous trek and dangerous lands, but dangerous animals can protect you and or harm you. If you're up for the challenge of wandering in the middle of the Kryn dynasty with no prior knowledge, go for it.
Skins kind of like raises his hand. I know quite a lot about the Beast of Kryn. I'm assuming Skins kind of just like thinks for a bit, deciding not to give away that name is a drow. But then again, Luke did know that there was a drow with them, so but it's probably still best to just keep it secret.
Yeah.
Skins is just gonna raise a hand, saying that he knew some about a lot of the animals that are known for the Kryn.
Well, I mean, yeah, that is true. Didn't you say something about a village? Whatever. I guess that would be helpful. I'm assuming he's a not hiree. You're the hirees for him, right? You're escorting him.
Well, actually, he's with us. We're just doing some favors for him.
He's part of your group? Since when?
Yeah.
Yes, less than a year. He's fully fledged member.
It's a long story. Godwin, if you want to explain it and on how you met us, you can go right ahead.
Well, I'm assuming you know the slave Arius.
I believe they referenced him last time we talked. I don't personally know him, no.
Well, I had been enslaved by Arius and learned under him for a long time. as some sort of a prized slave.
Are you sure
Um,
that's how you learned your magic?
well, most of it anyway.
No, that's not right. You don't walk with the right diction of a slave. You are too proud. I have a feeling you learned it somewhere else that you're keeping a secret. I don't know. Don't. You might just be a proud slave. I don't know. But most people don't walk in here asking for their brother so bluntly and with a straight back or with such an openly, pardon me, disgusting appearance to the point where they don't care if they offend or don't care if they frighten or if they don't care if they draw attention. Most people wouldn't willingly, do such things, especially so openly without cloaks and robes covering every inch of your body.
Well, I have had plenty of time to become accustomed to my appearance and status.
Very well, I guess. Do you need my assistance? I could teleport you to a household in the Kryn Dynasty. From there, it's up to you guys how you fare. You're a mixed group. I wouldn't have the elf go in if I were you. Kryn people, the drow, and elves have like a, I don't know, ancestral rivalry. Tieflings should be okay, along with goblins, as goblins are mostly born there, if they're going to be any sort of civilized goblin, at least. Biel might want to be careful, though. Humans aren't super welcomed either, so I would leave those two here, or leave those two in the confines of the structure I teleport you to. If you don't fear for their lives, go ahead and take them.
Yeah, we have ways to get around that. Don't worry about it.
Well,
Where one of us goes, I suppose we all go.
is that what you're requesting? Is a minor favor of teleporting you over to the Kryn Dynasty, Rosanna?
Uh, I suppose, Godwin, is that what you want to do?
We have the sending stones, so we can relay this to the others.
There are more to your troop? How many did you hire in the past year?
Oh, more so found, and they're not really part of this group. They're their own thing, kind of like a sister branch, you know.
You're talking about those two robots, aren't you? The ones we found in AR.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I don't know why you let them go. They're extremely valuable assets, both because they are objects of extreme value and because they are people of extreme value. People that old have so much knowledge, but I guess you are technically holding on to them if they're part of your troop. Not really sure, but if you're ready, if you have any last things to do, because things are more expensive up there, if you're buying things such as magic items, I would do them here. Because up there, they're far more valuable, because a lot of people need those to survive.
I'm all quitted out. I mean, I would like some arrows, but I don't know a place that sells any.
I'm sure you can buy arrows in any blacksmith.
No special arrows, like either explosive, not poison ones, because I know that's a sensitive subject here. And just other magical arrows, not just normal ones.
Well, I'm not sure about that. And some magic shops sell those, some don't.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think it was like maybe a year or a few months ago, but I came here expecting to see a half-orc selling black powder arrows. I don't know where he went.
Below.
Probably up to the Kryn Dynasty, if I were him. Just an orc in general. even a half one, probably isn't going to get away with selling black powder here. You might find them in Rosanna, maybe Bazazan. Yeah, Bazaksan.
Okay. Trent, how far is Rose?
From where you are currently, um, long ways. Least a month, or probably well over a month and a half worth of travel. Like, you are going from the center of the empire to the center of the Kryn, with a mountaintops separating them and all sorts of stuff. Like, yeah, it's not super great.
All right, and how far from Rosanna is my village?
Give me a second.
Because I can't. I'm looking at the map. I can't seem to find it.
Rosanna?
Also, what's happened?
They just talk to people.
But what?
They
Like,
really
do
didn't
we?
say anything. They just like talked like, oh yeah, okay, we got the deal. You're going over to what's his name's now. They went to Luke's tower, which is who you're talking to now. Luke the Archmage, the guy you helped from before.
Yeah.
You more or less were told immediately that his brother was in either Rosanna, Baxlazan, the Barbed Fields, one of those places, because there was an affront to nature he wanted to deal with. Okay, so as the crow flies, it would be 825 miles. Multiply that several times due to following roads, like probably at least 2 times, and you will know your distance. Yeah, definitely over a month's worth of travel if you don't get teleported there.
Okay, and did you hear my question about how far Rosanna was from
Rosanna from
my
the
village? Yeah.
Okay, your gold Trozar. Let me get. Why is it not giving it? There we go. As the crow flies, about 424 miles. Multiply that about 3 times because of following roads or crossing dangerous rivers or mountains, and you'll get your distance. So probably about 1,200 miles traveled if you were to try and go into the standard Kryn Dynasty way.
Okay. So it's probably not. It's not too far, but
If you were
it's
to
some
walk from
distance.
Reckentrum, it would put a huge strain on time if you walked up to your village and then came back down.
I was saying from Rosanna. Isn't Rosanna the place we're trying to teleport to?
Yeah, what I'm saying is if you teleport to Rosanna, you would have to go all the way back into the Empire and circle around. Because there's, like, impassable
Okay.
mountains between you and getting into the... Well, it's not impassable, it just, like, slows you down several times. So it'd be about the same distance. If you go to Rosanna, you would either have to circle around into the Empire or pass through extremely dangerous mountains to little to no time benefit. So probably another month just to get back to your village. At minimum a month from Rosanna.
Alright, that's fun. I mean, if we head back and Lucas can't teleport us back for whatever reason, I guess we could just head back that way for like a little rest stop. So, yeah, okay, I don't have any more questions. And did Godwin say he was okay being teleported to Rosanna? I don't remember.
It's not fun.
You're going to have to wait about an hour. I have to alert the people on the other end so they don't immediately kill you.
What about your brother, Goblin?
What'd you
That's
say,
where we're
Damien?
going.
I couldn't hear you.
What about your brother?
What does that question mean? You're going there for his...
I didn't know that, buddy. I wasn't here, was I?
Oh, well. You as a character were.
Yeah. I wasn't there to hear that.
But yeah, you're going to Rosanna because his brother thinks there's an affront of nature in the Kryn Dynasty and is strong in his druidic beliefs. So he wants to go investigate why no druid can solve it and investigate the king's tomb, stating that immortal creatures coming out of it doesn't bode well for nature. More or less.
Immortal or mortal?
Immortal creatures coming out of it don't bode well for nature. So more or less, he's going to investigate a bunch of perceived affronts to nature.
Uh, for the hour that is that Lucas is doing that, could I go try and find some places that have magic arrows?
You, while waiting on the hour, head out into Rexingtrum, searching the streets for easy magic shops. Give me one moment while I pull up Rexingtrum here.
Oh, by the way, Damon, you got 4,000 gold.
I don't know. I already had that
Okay.
down.
Where Grindalia
All
Empire?
right.
Oh, I didn't make that one yet. I don't know why I didn't, because you've been here before. Strange. All right. Either way, you head out just searching for magic item shops. There are plenty of those. It's not an extremely hard thing to find, and finding your way more or less just into a random one, very cluttered place, but also in its own organized way. Not too cluttered, as some wizards have the maniacal mind and the insanity to place things around randomly, but also in their own weird order, which seems to be a common theme in most places of magic. You can quickly find various types of magic items. Is there any particular type, or yeah, any particular type of magic item you'd be looking for?
Just any magical arrows.
You can get several +1 arrows. Those are pretty common, though you have to count those arrows specifically every time you fire
Yeah,
them.
because the magic dissipates. I know.
Yep. The only other types of arrows you know is one of them that seems to be more like a spell than anything, and you can fire it into the ground and cast a hypnotic pattern centered on the point where the arrow strikes. If it strikes a creature, it only affects that creature, however. And one other thing is Force Wall. That's the only other kind of magic arrow you can find, is the ability to summon a Force Wall wherever it hits. And if it hits a creature, it surrounds that creature in a small Force Wall.
Okay.
The first one cost about 100 gold a
I
pop.
think they're. Oh yeah.
The second one, the Force Wall one, cost about 500 gold.
Mm.
The other types are just very basic, simple +1s or +2s and stuff.
Okay, so there's no special arrows that I think would be useful. So I'll just like seemingly defeated. Though I do remember, whenever we're gonna go travel, Skins is gonna try and make some of those weakened fire arrows now.
All right, you start to create some of those with any remnants of supplies you may have.
All right, how many do you think I make?
I would say since you've gone a good portion of time since crafting those relay, well, you would have worked with them actually. I would say roll a d6 for me, and I'll let you make that number, whatever you roll.
Just 6 of them.
Yeah, I mean that's not too powerful, but it's extra damage that necessarily by no ability you should have.
That's true. I mean, they're already weakened, Rand. Okay, let me. Oh, I forgot to
You're
switch to
already
my
the
other
strongest
profile.
DPS character here, Sean.
Not anymore.
Uh,
I'll be right back. Actually, no, I won't.
What? I'll be right back. Actually, I won't be. And leaves.
Hey, Trent.
Yep.
Can I follow Skins to the magic item shop?
Sure.
I'm also following.
Alright, your party just follows him then.
Can I buy Elven Chain now?
It's just an uncommon item, right?
Actually, I think it. One second, I'll look. But I think it's rare.
If it's rare, I'll charge you, let's say, 1,500 gold for it.
1,500.
Yeah, as it has to be made specifically by powerful elven smiths, which don't really exist all that often.
6.
At least not in the traditional elven chain manner.
All right, and I can actually use these fire arrows now. But sadly, I think they only do a D4 now.
Mm-hmm.
I can find a better weapon.
You wanna buy a better
It's
weapon?
rare. So 1,500.
1,500 for the elven chain, yeah.
Okay,
The
I'm
crystal
taking it.
blade's just better.
That does increase your AC pretty massively.
Oh wait, hold on. Is
Crystal
there
blade?
actually?
What?
Go on, Ethan.
No, I was asking what Damien said. I didn't hear him.
Oh, I
Oh,
said
okay.
I found a really like a better weapon because you know how I just do a D8 plus a D6. I found the crystal blade that does a D8 plus a D8.
Oh, I thought you were telling me to buy the crystal blade. I was like, bro, no, I don't need a
No,
weapon.
no, I'm saying like I can just do more damage because everything else I do with my sword is because of my boon. So I can just get a better blade. I'm still
Uh, Trent, is there a scale any serpent scale armor around that I can find?
Those aren't super hard to come by. They're hard to come by, but once again, skilled smiths can create them, and they're only an uncommon magic item. So I'm going to charge you 500 gold per chain of scale, or whatever, scale armor, if you guys buy those.
Okay. Alright. Skins has some of his items back. Let's go.
Let's
Ooh,
go.
yeah.
Know me my name.
Are you buying that too, Damien?
What is it?
Scale armor.
I've already had that. Remember?
Did you buy it again after losing it to Rias?
Yeah, remember we went to that new that the place with the planking. We bought items. And I bought that Museum of Paradis and the Sentinel Shield.
Okay.
And then I gave away the Sentinel Shield to Naming, and I gave away the Museum of Paradis to that Arctic.
that guy.
You're
Alright,
that guy.
now supplied with magic items, unless you have anything else to purchase.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I'll just ask you later how much it is.
Does anybody want my ring of water walking?
Is it attunement?
Yeah.
No,
No.
can't use that.
Just sell it at a higher price when you're in the green.
Yeah, I'll probably do that.
You
Unless-
realize there's
unless
already
Boa
an
wants it.
upcharge. That would just equal out to maybe even.
Oh man.
While y'all look for a second, use the bathroom real quick. BRB.
Found some for a monk, I think. Guns of Flaming Fury. Yeah,
Feels nice to have skins get a 19 AC again.
I have a 21.
Shut up, William.
I have
Don't
a
ask.
16 final.
Oh, buddy.
That's you only have a plus. Oh yeah, you only have a +2 to Dex, don't you? I mean, hey, at least you'll get like I think a base 21 AC if you shield. So there's that.
Eden, you should get Helm of the Gods.
Ethan, you're muted again in case you don't know. How you feeling, Damien?
Not good. I feel sick. Because I am.
I don't feel good either.
I have returned. Sorry. What were you saying, John?
I mean, you could have up to a 21 AC with a shield spell.
That is true.
I don't think you get Shield of Faith, so that can't bump up to any higher.
I'm back.
Mm-mm.
I'm
No, I
back.
don't get full face.
Alright, so who's
Actually,
buying what?
Nimi does. Probably.
I'm just still looking. You continue. I'll randomly just cut and be like, "Hey, Trent."
Okay.
'Cause I don't want to be like annoying and
Cool.
keep looking for like an hour.
Party heads back to the tower then, after purchasing whatever you purchase. Heading back to the tower, you find Luke casting what seems to be a spell, drawing chalk lines on the floor, creating a magical sphere, seemingly a teleportation circle, which you fairly easily know. Not too long after your entrance, he stands up and beckons for you guys to get closer. Alright, so what you're going to see as soon as you get through, plenty of drow around you. All are going to ready their weapons immediately. They're not going to kill you, though, because Essek is standing there. He is the person that's going to guide you to where you're going to be staying while you're in Rosanna. You might encounter some people living in that house. It doesn't really matter, though. Like, as long as you don't bother them, they're not going to bother you. Good luck. Don't die. Be careful of the edge of Rosanna. Be careful of the barbed fields. Um, just be careful in general. Draws the last few lines. Are you guys ready? Okay
Alright.
then, and he finishes it up. The like lines begin to glow a vibrant bluish green color, and begin to spark like party poppers. Each individual grain of chalk begin to pop ever so slightly. You realize once the chalk is disintegrated, the magic is likely dissipated. So you, I'm assuming, all rush in. Unless you want to be left behind, that is. Once you rush in, the sensation that none of you have really experienced beyond a small dimensional teleport with Dimension Door immediately sets in of being like torn from position and stretched out almost like spaghetti. Your legs feel like they're falling and falling and falling, and it feels far longer than it is because it's only a split second, but feels closer to maybe 20 seconds of continuous falling just by the shock of the weird feelings that force your mind to stay in that moment. Dropping out on the other side, you know probably 20 or so, highly trained just by the way they're standing and the armor they're wearing, drow guards all raise and point different weapons at you of various types, with a thinner drow wearing a large silvery mantle, like shoulder pieces that are obviously ornate, and also ornamental. And he is wearing darker black robes with silver lining, sometimes actual silver thread, other times more for aesthetic. And just like backlighting, not specifically made of any ridiculously fine material for something that's so rarely seen. He is hovering maybe half a foot off the ground, just enough where his feet no longer even have the chance to drag, even at full extension, and his feet are actually entirely covered by a large cloak. And the only reason you can tell he's floating is because it's slightly peeked open right now, and you can see his feet aren't touching the ground. He has short, chalk white hair covering a young man's head, and he has many scars of battle, though they all seem fairly minute, and obviously remain only for the pure aesthetics and proving that he has in fact been in battle. Nothing extremely detrimental remains on his face, nothing that makes him anything less than relatively handsome. As you all appear, he kind of cocks his head to the side and squints at each of you slightly, just trying to probably determine if there's anything wrong with you, before looking at Nim just a little bit too much, squinting a little bit harder, and nodding. Well, you all here? You guys the guys we're trying to escort, I'm assuming?
Skin's still being a bit wobbly. I am not gonna get used to that, am I? Ugh.
Nope, never do. Especially the further and further you go. You get better at it with the shorter distances, but something like that, no.
Ugh. Skins then looks at Nemi, seeing that she's still in her in her wood elf outfit, whatever elf that they made him. I forgot what it was. Skins is going to look at the drow before him. She's a drow. Don't worry about her being. Oh. Skins kind of like has to take a moment. He looks like he's almost about to vomit.
I can tell, don't worry. Yeah, it's not that good of a disguise to people who know what a drought look like. The only reason it fools the Dwindles is because they don't pay attention to anyone. They're all selfish. And they don't really know what drought look like, except in combat scenarios. So a cleric cannot be think of. Either way, are you all ready to head to your new rendezvous location? Walk through the streets, don't wander away. If you do, don't go into anywhere you're not supposed to. Fairly simply, try not to draw attention, because we don't like that here. You, as human, there, bear men, will probably have a hard time seeing. It is perpetual darkness outside, and that is so that our drow sensibilities can remain pleasant and not in agony of the sun. Follow me, I guess, unless you have any questions.
Nope, all good. I'm not. I didn't barf. I'm good. I'm okay. Let's go. Uh,
Fair enough. Um, you guys gonna open the door or what? Sorry. And they open the door, and he seemingly begins to like relax while mid float. Like he isn't even standing upright anymore. He's more like he's reclining against a wall, but also floating. And so, like to your side, like from your like side angles, it's especially weird looking. It just looks like he's like leaning backwards, and his feet are propelling him forward. So he's like in constant inertia, but it's just a way he's relaxing while floating. And he begins to float down the long, magically carved hallways. And these are some of the most beautiful places you've ever seen. And you can't see anything. That's the thing. You can see the halls. Some of it is made of what looks to be translucent looking ice, with what looks to be mithril veins striped through it. It's almost as if someone had poured hot mithril down a massive sheet of ice and left it there to harden, with its random formations just being its natural course. And the hallways are carved out of good portions of this. There's huge marble slabs for floors, seemingly entirely mended together, so obvious magical labor was put in to every inch of this hallway. Good portions of it are calligraphied and have beautiful like carvings and ornate just murals made of simple carved stone, almost with false depth. And you even note extremely detailed work with fairy fire. Someone sat there and cast hundreds of spells of fairy fire on some of these murals to give them false color on a white backdrop with this marble. Inside these ice walls, you note that some of the silver even had like silvery veins of what looks to be mithril or adamantine seem to glow slight purple, hinting that there's at least a shine of adamantine there, or false fairy fire on the inside as well. As you walk out toward the exit, it gets even more ornate. The further you go in, the less people see, so they don't really care as much. But out toward the entrance, almost every inch of the place is covered in something so remarkably beautiful, you couldn't imagine people in the Dwendalian keeping it for more than a few weeks before it was stolen right off the freaking list by the king. The king would walk up and steal this place if he could, and likely would in any place but this. This is a remarkable building, and you know as you step outside, extremely enormous. It is what looks to be a halfway underground palace. Like it no-clipped a good 20 foot into the stone. Half of it's obviously underground because the drow probably started construction underground. And now it is a immaculate, ornate structure of all sorts of rare, vibrant materials made of weird red and purple woods. Some like weird blue bendy material, almost like vines growing around sections, obviously cultivated by some druidic magic or clerical magic. There is botanical gardens surrounding huge portions of this outside courtyard area. Even in this infinite darkness, there is still the beauty of nature, probably against all nature. This right here is probably one of the best feats you will ever see constructed, and probably took 100+ years to actually complete.
Skins.
Yeah.
Okay. Skins is going to like look around in awe. He's heard of stories from Iridia of how beautiful this place is, but he never actually went anywhere further into the Kryn. He kind of just stayed with his village or just somewhere out where he could hunt some of the big beasts that's roaming around with his party. Skins is like this looking around in awe, kind of like whenever he's shaking a lot, and he's just like turning every like 5 seconds to look at something new. You can definitely see a gigantic smile on him. I don't know too much about BL, but Skins just has a gigantic smile on him, and then he sees that he's outside of the entrance. Skins is then going to pull the bag of holding that he remembered to grab, and then immediately Skins opens it to reveal Bat had sat in there with like his head kind of like peeking out to breathe. And then a large bat just flies out of the bag of holding and just stands next to Skins as Skins pets him.
Essek just kind of rotates on the spot, turning to face you. What a way not to draw attention, you know? I could have never guessed you were new here. With all your gawking eyes and magical bat friends who are flying out of bags. You're going to get robbed, I assure you. Keep your eyes peeled.
Oh, probably, but I mean, don't worry about it. And I couldn't leave him in there. He's going to suffocate. Then Skins just hands back the bag of holding to William.
Fair enough, I guess. Just try and keep your heads down and ignore the other fantastic structures in the area.
I'll try to keep my eyes peeled.
Leading you down...
Like,
okay, what?
The entire time they were walking through all that, Godwin just seemed to like be in a completely different world, like not even paying attention to anything. Like he was just walking along with them, but he was just somewhere else.
Trent,
Yep.
how much did you let me buy the bag of beans for?
Man, I don't even know what that does.
Inside this heavy cloth bag are dry beans. I already wrote how many. The bag weighs a half a pound plus a fourth pound for each bean it contains. If I throw it, it explodes in a 10-foot radius. Each creature in the radius, including me. Oh, so I have to throw it on the ground immediately. It makes a DC 15 Dex saving throw, taking 5d4 fire damage on a failed save or half as much on a success. And it ignites any flammable objects in the area that are not being worn or carried. If you move a bean and plant it, it takes a minute, and afterwards you roll a d100 to see what its effect is.
So, wild magic bean...
Pretty much.
Unless you
pretty much
slam
is.
it on the dirt, and then if you throw it
As
on
I
the
throw
dirt, it explodes in 5d5 damage? What?
5d4 fire damage, and it explodes in a 10-foot radius.
Yeah, what rarity is it?
Rare.
Oh, that means some of the random effects are probably pretty powerful. I'll probably charge you 1,500 for it.
1,500?
Yeah, because I'm assuming that the beans are powerful in the wild magic section.
Well, number 100 is a giant beanstalk sprout to grow into the height of DM's choice. The top leads when the DM chooses, just as the great view, a cloud giant's castle, or a different plane of existence.
Yep, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So yeah, I'm going to charge you 1,500.
And it's not even. And it's not even attunement.
Wow.
We go to Water Wild with that. It's like we pop up with Water
Entirely
Wild.
possible. Entirely possible.
Yeah, all right, guys, let's switch DMs real quick.
All right, yeah. If they do that, then we're just gonna switch to you for a little bit, and you're gonna have to come up with a way for them to come out.
That's only if Damien rolls lucky, though.
I roll lucky, and if Trent chooses that.
Okay. But as Skins seeing Godwin kind of be in his own world, he kind of gets worried a little bit, as as he knows that Godwin's probably under a lot of stress from just thinking about his brother and whatever that crystal is doing to him. Skins kind of like draws back, leaving Bat to kind of like fly a little bit, just waiting whenever Skins calls him. Skins is gonna fall back and gently grab Godwin's arm and kind of like tugs at him. You okay, Godwin?
As soon as you touch him, he like flinches and looks straight at you. What? Yes, of course, I'm fine.
Well, if you need someone to talk to, we can talk somewhere private if you want. If I know you're probably going through a lot of stress right now, considering that what William done to you and what we're about to do. We don't know what can happen, but let's just hope for the best, okay?
Right. That's much appreciated, Skins.
Hey guys, what happens if I throw this bean on the ground?
God damn it.
I found
Skins is going to just stare at William and almost instinctively a crow swoops down from seemingly out of nowhere and just starts pecking at William, trying to eat the bean out of his hand.
No, don't eat this bean. No, I was kidding. Don't eat the bean. Don't do that.
And then Skins is gonna look back at Godwin and is like, but again, if you need someone to talk to, don't hesitate to confine me. I'm just trying to help my party out, you know?
Thank you, Skins.
Skins just nods, letting
I do
go
not,
of... Oh, go on.
I do not know where I would be without you and our little group here.
Don't be thanking me just yet. I haven't really done much to help the party again ever since you guys came back. But yeah, if you need me, just pull me to the side sometime. Skin says as he's finally letting go of Godwin's arm, and then starting to walk back up front. Stopping the crow from pecking Damien's face, and just having the crow just be gently put against his shoulder. The crow just like eyeing William.
So, Tron, are we like out in the open?
You guys right now have exited the main building and are walking in what looks to be an expansive courtyard-like structure laid with mostly marble and gardens, though you begin to see what looks to be a series of large estates with towers on them in odd connecting ways. Not all of them, but like certain estates have several towers in the same place that connect on a weird, odd angle. Obviously, a wizard's or rich man's section. And on the other side of the street, you note that there are several relatively large estates again, all with large mansion-like structures, several rooms, some larger than others. And you note what looks to be at probably about half a mile away, a bright glowing tree for no reason. Just there. That's what you're in right now.
Okay, now one more question
Did you
about
say the tree was?
It's about half a mile away. It's in one of the estates, and the tree is seemingly just like glowing, like vibrantly, and nothing else here produces light. And you can even see Essek as his eyes glaze over the area. His eyes like automatically shut slightly and like just barely close. It's not enough for it to be hurting yet, but you know if Essek probably stood next to that thing, it would probably sting his eyes pretty bad.
My eye!
What is that, bro?
Tron, so you know that wall of ash that comes from my sword? Is that part of my boon?
Yeah, that the entire ability of this sword was more or less I gave you a basic sword, and then all the rest of it was just your boon that activates with the sword.
So if I get a new sword, I keep those boons?
Yes.
Alright, how much would be the crystal blade?
It's rare and does 2d8 damage.
It gives me an extra d8 of damage of radiant. I have 3 charges and gain all 1d3 exponential charge a day at dawn. If I attack, I can use 1 charge to regain a number of hit points equal to my radiant damage. While holding the sword, you use a bonus action to do even actually more bright light than I could before. 60 foot of bright light and an additional 30 foot of dim light.
For that, I don't think it'll be that much. I think I'll charge you.
Oh,
Since
it's
that
plus
is
1.
technically, yeah, it's a combination of goods, weapons. I'm gonna
It's
charge
just
you probably 3,000 gold for that.
Okay.
It's a huge chunk of cash, but I think that would definitely be worth it if I was playing a character like yours.
Yeah,
Am I
it's more-
unmuted? I'm just making sure.
Mm,
What? That's all I heard.
I'm here. Okay, so so it does a D8 of damage. Would that technically go away because you can pretty much summon any sword you want, or does that not count?
What do you mean? No, it would just stack a D8 of radiant on top of whatever type of weapon he summoned.
Oh, okay.
So, like, if
Never mind.
he changed that weapon into a maul, it would be a crystal-like maul that, when he hits, also does a D8 of radiant on top of the maul's damage.
Okay, don't you do a d6 of cold damage still?
That would be specifically on the blade he currently carries.
Okay. Oh yeah,
So,
because
if he attunes to a crystal blade, he loses the D6 of cold.
I mean that's better. It's better.
It is still better, yes. And technically, he could pay, I would say, another 1,000 gold and have that D6 also transferred over, because it is not a regular enchantment. It is a dragon scale that is just embedded into the sword. Who just left and
Okay.
joined? And what?
Probably Damien. All right, so we've finally the beautiful lights, the darkened but lit town of Rosanna. I'm actually not too familiar with this place. Oh, Damien's calling me.
He probably can't hear.
Hello? Yes. His PC turned off.
That's funny. Well, we'll wait for him to get back here, and I'll explain to him how he could keep his D6 of damage if he wanted to necessarily.
Oh God! Just get on your Xbox, man. You're probably not gonna have to. No, you can still do it with Xbox. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we're not battle mapping this session unless you guys like rush to kill someone. Unless you guys bum rush a murder, it's not gonna happen. Godwin, don't do it, Godwin.
Well, while we're waiting on Damien, I want you to look at something real quick.
And that is. What? Your bowl of chili? Why are you zooming in on your bowl of chili?
So,
What? What? You're just insane. Just salt.
just imagine that Android porn was playing over that, like that little sequence, and that's how that you would capture my feeling right now.
I don't know how that is a feeling you have right now, but okay. Yes, I listen to pixelated porn noises.
Okay, I told Damien what he can do for spending all his money.
Okay.
Just
Well,
we can continue.
is he gonna come back?
Yeah, he's coming back. He's just gonna take a bit because his PC started updating.
Epic. Well, the city you see at the moment, and you guys like have these rich people houses to your right with the mansions and that one glowing tree. On the left, you see the many towers that are scattered around on their own estates, and you guys are on a weird vantage point. It doesn't feel like you're on a vantage point, but you definitely are. Otherwise, you couldn't see what you're seeing, and it's like a weird curving feel, but it never gets to a point. It's always like you're just barely walking down a hill, and it's going to get progressively steeper, but it never quite gets that progressively steeper. And the city you see below isn't lit in a normal manner that you see in other cities. Whereas the eternal nighttime in the Dwendalian Empire would almost immediately spark torches or lanterns being lit, and in Zadash, simple light bulbs to be lit up. Or Hupperduke, glowing lantern-like things using actual electricity, but probably magical creation. In this location, there is very, very little light. You instead see most buildings and streets are outlined with fairy fire instead. The streets have multicolored fairy fire, likely indicating what is on the street with the fairy fire. And you recognize this system. And it's odd that you recognize this system because it's on the other side of the world. It's all the way back in Nicodranus with the beaded streets. The place itself is very similar in aspect. And you could probably, because you guys, specifically Skanes and William, are extremely versed in Nicodranus, because being there so many times now and wandering the streets, you could probably tell what's in Rosanna using that same system if it is the same here. As you see, like, multicolored lights more or less just bobbing and floating, and odd tinges of color that you didn't even know really existed, hovering over the streets, and important buildings, like huge office buildings, that seem to contain, like, bulk factory workers or bulk administrative workers. Like, those buildings are also outlined, and obviously government created, fairy fire, government designated. The housing here seems relatively peaceful as well. There is, like, slum sections toward the edge of the city, and you can see out toward the wall. And it looks like there are slums on the inside and outside of the wall, but the slums on the outside have no light at all, no torches, no fairy fire, no nothing. And on the inside of the wall, they have very, very small, scattered pieces of light. And you can, even from here, see that there is very, very little activity outside of the wall, even with how many tents and stuff and structures you might see out there. The inside of the city, however, is relatively bustling, and it's odd to see so many people out in what you would normally consider nighttime. But you see there are hundreds and hundreds of drow elves, mixed with goblins, mixed with bugbears, half-orcs, full orcs, all of these creatures and all of these people just mingling peacefully, seemingly. No superiority complexes, no one seeming to rush, as everything seems to be at a relatively leisurely pace in the city, unlike the Dwendalian Empire, where everything's a rush. These people have an average lifespan of technically a longer life, and therefore probably worry less about the immediate. This place is also relatively ornate, created with mostly stone, but also some of the bigger buildings supported with wood and or metal. It's a very dark looking city, and shadows cling to the walls as the coloration of the creation, or the coloration of the building's creation is very dark. But you can see relatively fine. Just don't enter any alleyways if you don't want to be snuck up on by someone with longer eyesight than you. However, you never get that far, as you're hovering past the tree with the glowing lanterns you now see, seemingly jars encapsulating pure sunlight. Your party is led inside the gate with a flick of Essex finger. The gates open, and you are led into probably one of the smaller plots, but still relatively large enough to hold a massive, like, probably 100-foot tree. The gate swings closed behind you, and the manor itself, with its 3 stories, seemingly the third one recently added, is open before you. And Essex waves his hand again, and the door opens again. You're led inside a large ballroom-looking like entranceway, where the staircase is in the center of the room and circles up, where you can, like, see up to the second story. There's no floor in the middle, though there seems to be rafters hanging there, like they're planning to construct a floor in the middle to make it a full, solid second floor, and not just a ring of balcony-looking structures. The ring continues as there's, like, the large staircase that leads up to the overhanging section, and those 2 overhanging sections coalesce to lead up to yet another third story. That third story is entirely solid, however, meaning there is 2 full stories and 1 half story. The half story being in the middle. It's a very odd looking setup, though you know this is probably a continuous project of whoever's in here. And as you enter, you know that a door closes near immediately as you enter, as someone shuts the door to one of the rooms in the place. And you also hear what looks to be several noises of something clicking to the right, and it sounds like a crossbow. But Essex raises his hand and just goes, "Don't worry about it. They're not going to kill you. They're not going to fight you. They just want to make sure you're not intruders. You're welcome to stay here while you're in Rosanna. with a reasonable time frame, of course. If any of them are in the sauna, don't go in the sauna. If any of them are in the tree, don't go into the tree and interrupt their praying. Um, Most people probably aren't in their rooms at the moment. They're scattered all across the world, after all. So you could probably use the guest rooms in the third floor. Don't snoop around anyone else's rooms, and you will be fine here. So all I gotta say to you, I guess enjoy your stay.
I actually have one question.
And that is,
So, if I can remember, Iridia, who is a drow elf of mine who lives in my village, uh, you probably don't know her, but I don't know, you might. But Skins points at Nemi. I heard that uh, female drow elves get more treatment, especially if they're clerical.
you reference old days. This Iridia was likely very old. She, let me guess, 650, 700 years old?
Uh, More so 500, I think.
She lied to you, my friend. We haven't worshipped, or we haven't raised clerics above wizardly status in hundreds of years. That's history. That was back when Loth still commanded us, before we came to the surface once more. However, females, they're not necessarily treated better in society. No one would ever admit to it, but drow elves are beautiful, and men are always weak, no matter what part of the world you're in. So they could always be treated slightly better and get their way a little bit easier in every part of the world.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
But also, the main reason that they were ever treated better is, look at her. She's bigger than me. And like Nim, with how Nim looks, you know that even with her like relatively modest looking form, and she is muscular. She is a technically strong cleric, relatively so to other clerics. Essek looks like a twig in comparison, and he's floating half a foot off the ground, and Nim is still taller than him. Like, he is not a tall dude. He is not imposing in any way, and that's probably the history of most drow. The females relatively are larger, and you even notice that with like any drow you've ever seen before. Even Michael the mage, he was half drow, and he was still relatively short and a frail-looking dude. But yeah, he kind of just chuckles at the old history lesson, more or less. Any more questions about our past?
No, I'm good for now. My curiosity and wanderlust has been fed for today.
Fair enough. If you guys want dinner, we will be preparing it right now. He thinks for a minute and just seems to pick the time out of the air. It's almost 11 o'clock. We've been walking for a while. You just never get used to it, how long it quite takes to get out here. We're serving dinner in 3 hours, and we're going to have a little lunch in about an hour. So if you meet in the little dining room section, wherever they put that this time, you are welcome to eat what we're eating. I think we're having soup for dinner and something to do with spaghetti. Except I wouldn't eat it because Jester's preparing it. You know who Jester is? You know Luke, so I'm assuming you know something to do with those guys. This is their house, by the way.
Skins just like blinks, looks back at William. Jester, wasn't that the people you said was?
She was the one that gave us the gold teepee and I took it out.
That sounds like you know them then. This is where they sometimes live and meet up. They haven't said anything about you guys. They haven't talked about it. Jesta has been here since she lost her ship. I wouldn't bring it up if I were you. Every time I have, she has ran me out of the room, hitting me with one of those golden penises.
Wait, so she's alive. Oh, thank God.
Yes.
We either thought that she was uncontactable or dead.
She's a cleric of great renown.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
also teleported in here with Caduceus. He They seemingly appeared soaking wet at some point. They appeared while I was eating and nearly made me spill my food as they teleported in. But they didn't seem hurt, so I didn't worry about it. And every time I'm like, "What happened?" And Caduceus explained that she lost her ship, and yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah, sorry.
What did you do this time, William?
So you see Godwin's chest? You see where we put the rubies in there? You know how I killed the thing to get that? At the same time, it kind of did a ritual. We didn't know the consequences until afterwards, and it took down a ship.
Of course, of course.
We all did it. We all helped in it, besides BL, I think.
No, BL
That's
help.
BL helped? Never mind.
no, I think Biel was no Keel didn't. Keel was the one who
Keel's the only one
didn't.
that didn't do it, yeah. Keel's the only one that didn't do it.
Skin's like,
Just his
I
own
get more.
apprentice even helped with the blood ritual.
As
So,
you're
like,
explaining this to Skins, as he just holds up his hands and goes, "All right, I'm not going to get involved. I would stay hidden if I were you. Don't come down for spaghetti then, or soup. Eat your rations. I'm
yeah, no, she
out of
definitely
here."
hates
And he
us.
snaps his fingers and teleports away.
Yeah, no, she definitely hates us. We really thought she died because we tried to scrounge her. A lot of
Okay,
us did.
well,
Didn't work out.
all right. Okay, so luckily I wasn't with you guys, so if I go down, I can bring you possibly.
Yeah. They might ask why you're taking a lot of bowls of pasta.
I've got a big bat around somewhere, and I've got this little crow here. I think it's gonna be a lot.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. I say, well, Nimi can go with you too. Nimi wasn't with us.
That is true. She did pop up.
The rest of us cannot go.
Well, I guess Nimi, I'm relying on you. Uh, once more. We didn't give ourselves an old name. We should probably think of one for memories, I suppose.
The good guy.
No.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're in Rosanna now, and I do want to eat something because I do feel a little bit sick from that teleporting. Godwin, do you have anything to say? You've been kind of quiet recently. Skin says as he's kind of looking worriedly at Godwin.
Great comfort. See Justin again.
I don't
You
know if you. Yeah, I don't know if you said anything there because we heard like what sounded like a video being played, and then you went, "Got this, go do get scared." That's all I heard from that sentence.
We gotta go talk to Justin. That's all I heard.
Yeah, I heard the last part of the sentence.
I didn't even understand that.
Once,
Yeah.
once,
All right. So even though we have two people sick in this party, I mean we're doing pretty okay, I guess. Ugh.
Just stop poisoning
Welcome.
yourselves, problem solved.
hello, can you hear me?
Good idea.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, I'm fine, but I would like to see Jester again. It would bring me great comfort.
I also
Are
agree.
you guys sure? If you guys see Jester, she might
We
not
deserve it
be
if she
kind.
attacked us or not be kind. We kind of deserve all of the things she will do to us.
Indeed.
We kind of killed a couple people in that ship. I'm pretty sure. I think I saw blood
Well,
in the
I
water.
mean, Skins kind of like looks at William, kind of a proud smile, kind of a small, proud smile kind of like escapes his face. I well, I guess I'm glad to know that uh, you know that you're responsible for such a thing.
I don't
Uh,
give any punishment I gained from this. I was the one to start the ritual, so if any blame, I'll put it on myself.
Good idea.
all right, all
Yeah.
right. I'll try and me and Nim will try and stay out of it, unless things get too bad that we might have to intervene. But hopefully that won't come to terms, and hopefully, like the Drow said, you might just get golden penises thrown at. So I mean,
Hey, I'm okay with that punishment. I would definitely be okay with that punishment.
I know you would, but I don't. I'm not sure about Biel and Godwin.
They'll be fine.
I'd be a little less okay with it.
All right. Well, I suppose we'll just try and find which rooms to sleep in. I guess. Skins then kind of like looks at his crow, gently placing it, gently placing it on his fingers and like looking at him. I haven't given you a name yet. I'm gonna call you. Hmm.
I'm gonna call you Leaves Joins.
I thought that was something that left.
That wasn't me. No, that was Willow. That was Willow, man. That wasn't me. I'm gonna call you. Let's see. I have Bat, Beanie, if he's okay. Let's see. I'll come up with a name later, but for now, I'll just call you Pecky. Why is
It seems
Willow
entirely indifferent to the name.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems indifferent, but Skins is gonna put it back on his shoulder and then start going wherever the Drow Elf had told us to go for the rooms.
You head up to the third story, the first staircase, circling around to the second one, and find yourself in what looks to be a partially constructed. Well, most of the room seems fine, but like the back left corner or so from where you're standing looks like they haven't quite painted it yet. And this place is obviously a work of art and a labor of love, as all of the walls here are painted in various types of murals, and it looks almost like they're leading into each other. And you recognize immediately these are adventures that people have gone on, similar to your own. There is a ship sailing, and what looks to be a extremely ugly lady with a very large hat, and and her neck's like hanging like it's broken. There's a volcano exploding, and what looks to be a red-haired man shooting a beam of green towards what looks to just be the lava. There is, at one point, what looks to be a starry night with a beautiful city that seems to have blood dripping off of it. You recognize the city of Aor, the broken portion, specifically the jewel ward. That's what I'm trying to say, and it all of its shining beauty. And with Skins' passive perception, you also recognize every one of these. There is something, be it a piece of stone or a drop of blood off the city, be it a gem or a structure or a fancy fairy fire light in the Aur drawing, or be it a flower grove, be it the actual arc of green energy toward the lava. Every one of these murals leading into each other has some sort of penis in it. They're shaped into a different. For some reason, every one of them have a cock-shaped object in them, and you understand that this is likely Jester's doing over the course of many years, painting such a large thing in such detail.
It's beautiful.
Is that her signature? That
Yeah.
seems to be.
Even in the books I read about her, every page number was like in penis number font.
penis number? What does that
Yeah,
mean?
if it was like a 7, it'd be like the schlong, and then the balls would be like the left side part where like shows as a 7, stuff like that. The 8's just 2 balls. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, something tells me I'm going to my stomach's going to be hurting when I'm meeting this person.
Hmm.
All right. Well, this would be a somber story, I think, if it wasn't for the signature. But hey, it's good at least.
I think
Uh,
the pieces give it like, I don't know. It's more pleasing to look at. What's the word?
all
It's
right.
more extravagant.
All right. Sin's gonna like start walking down the hallway, continuing to go try and find the room.
All right, you walking in this section realize that it is more or less a big housing section. One of the rooms, the room currently under construction, seems to be a specifically made ritual section for all kinds of different rituals. As you see into the wood, they have placed like thin layers of stone slabs made of a weird greenish stone almost. And it's more or less used to, when you look at the floor, you can see light green lines very clearly, and it's carved into the stone several, like, probably 30 different mixtures of rituals you could use onto one section of the floor, and they're all color coded with different cuts, deeper or lesser, into the stone, making it either deeper and darker or far brighter in shade. So if you follow the shade that you're looking for, you could do any like one of like 30 rituals in here without doing any effort of remembering or looking up or checking to make sure you're good. Just tracing chalk over it very quickly, more or less speeding the ritual time up probably 30 times quicker than it should be. Alongside what looks to be several stone baths, not stone, but like clay porcelain bath looking structures, and a whole lot of clay for some reason. Passing like that area and looking around at the other finished rooms, you know that this is a obviously guest style bedroom for each of these, and you recognize that they're likely doing this because now that they are of some import, they feel a semi responsibility to offer some board for new adventurers and or people who could save the world, as in their eyes that's what they did before. So with no help, and now they're trying to speed people along the trail. You guys more or less just have a bunch of guest rooms. They're very basic, almost like a tavern, except for the inside is covered with mural art with penises all over it. Yeah, relatively beautiful, comfortable rooms, and you are allowed to stay here seemingly until you leave, as long as it's on a reasonable time schedule.
Well, this is definitely the most fanciest place I've ever been in. All right. I suppose we'll go pick out our rooms. I suppose. Uh, Godwin, if you want, we could discuss as a party what our next move is.
Okay,
I feel like that would be a smart idea.
I think Willow's having like a mental break. Can't hear. There we go. Lava. Oh, what the fuck? XD. What the hell? Coke. Cola. What is going on?
Nim is just hallucinating. She hasn't been in the crane in so long that it's driving her insane, seeing everything flush back in her memory.
Is my like ex-wife gonna be here, Trent?
Maybe.
Oh boy.
Maybe.
You know that there's those wizard towers.
Oh no.
Could always go check.
Oh,
them out.
great.
I'll have to go meet her.
Yeah, you're gonna meet her with your Yandere shield. That's smart.
Yeah, bro. I'll just leave it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh.
as if that's possible. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's gonna stuck on my arm.
So you
Should
guys
have
have
taken
your rooms now.
Should have taken the offer.
Yeah.
Yep, I mean, this is what happens. You do something funny, you immediately regret it.
I'll still no. I can go and meet her. I just can't show affection.
That's gonna be awkward. Okay. So what's happened? Sorry.
You guys can. What are you doing? You have the entire
Oh.
city, the greatest city in now not the Dwendalian Empire, but instead the Kryn Dynasty. Yeah, you can do whatever you want here. This is probably a city larger than the Dwendalian Empire city because they have more land to cover and develop.
I suppose we'll go wherever Godwin goes, and we'll just discuss plans there.
Well, Godwin's right now mission leads you directly out of Rosanna on a search to just hopefully run into his brother. Anywhere from the outer city, the barbed fields, or all the way out to Bazozan or something. I don't know how to pronounce that town.
Oh, okay. So it's not like we have a
Yeah, your
direct
next
route.
goal is to walk for several days in that direction. That's your
Okay.
next major goal. You guys could technically stay here and because you don't know what's going to happen when you meet him, and you'll have to walk all the way back here to do anything here again, if you have anything here, as in William, or even you, Skins, because you know Drow, and you might try and find people you can talk to about Iridia or whatever. Like, you guys have things you can technically do, or Nim, she could talk to literally anyone and likely get an audience with the Bright Queen. Because of her going missing, she literally vanished one day. And they're like, oh, the entire outpost was wiped out. Wonder how that happened. A
Oh, yeah,
survivor?
that is true. That did happen. That did happen.
Yeah, that happened
I had
2
that-
years ago. A survivor from 2 years ago, you know?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Nim, you probably might want to go do that. I don't know how effective it would be, considering the.
That depends. Do you want to... You are going to go do that? Okay. During your stay, you're going to go and try and get a meeting with the Bright Queen. We'll just do this in order then, from what I think will be the quickest. William, are you going to go try and talk to your ex-wife in one of the mage towers you know where is likely?
Yes, but I will immediately beforehand let my shield know that this is just an old friend, and I want to just talk about some stuff that's been going on here. I don't like this person.
It responds, you realize all people say, don't worry, they're just a friend, right?
No, we left in bad terms, I promise. Elves and
Sure,
drows,
I'll keep an eye out.
we're not the closest. Drows and elves.
Just keep you at
So you-
distance or so, you know?
I will.
Watch your eyes.
You've seen me in enemy, and ooh, that stuff's gonna happen soon, so it's gonna be kind of the same outcome.
Is this telepathically speaking, or
Yeah,
or is it?
telepathically.
Okay, 'cause I was about to say, William's just talking to him, stare at him, and throw something at his head.
No, I think William's dumb enough to say it out loud.
He's
like-
talking, the shield isn't.
He's like, "Don't worry,
Skins-
mommy. Don't worry about it, mommy. Don't worry about it."
Skins is going to like side eye him a little bit. Looks back at
You can't
Peggy,
hear her.
and it's
You
like,
can't hear her. You can't hear her.
I know, but you're talking to a shield.
I know. I'm saying the Skins. You can't hear her. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
She's on to me. Don't worry about it.
Skins
I'm
then
off.
looks at
I'll be back
Godwin.
soon.
Skins then looks at Godwin. Did he lose his mind during that whole Mighty Nine thing?
As far as I knew, he was always crazy. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna
That's-
play the
that's-
bean
that's
out.
fair. What? Oh God.
What did you say, Damien? I didn't hear you.
I said I'm gonna plant a bean outside as I leave.
Okay. So you begin to head out, and your arm tingles slightly, and you're like, "Oh God!" But then it just goes, "Fine,
I promise, we do not like each other.
I permit you to go.
All right.
Just
I will
make
go
sure
and
to
find-
take me with you."
Oh yeah, I'm letting them sound the shield. I'm going to take them with me to the door of
Are you
the tower.
Are you planting a bean outside?
Maybe after the talk.
Okay. This will probably take a lot less time than the Bright Queen. So we're gonna do this first. You head your way out, basically across the street, and begin walking down the many roads, well paved and beautiful. But dread begins to slightly form at seeing this old candle. Uh, Hopefully, for the shield's sake, not reunited. Uh,
He gulps and like tugs on his shirt and's like, "Yikes!" Okay, and he knocks on just I guess the candle because there's no door. I'm pretty sure.
no, what I'm saying that was a symbolic thing, like an old candle being reignited.
Oh, I thought she was in one of like the big
No,
candle things I made a joke about a long time ago. I'm like, huh?
no.
I'm like,
But you find your way to the familiar tower. That it has a weird shape to it. It almost has like it has two tower bases, but only one of them has a door, and they connect about halfway up. And you recognize that it was half completed and was going to spell out a weird shaped W. But they stopped on the third tower, and now there's like a burn scarred mark to where the other tower was going to be constructed to finish the W. And as you knock on the door, a magical rune ignites, but no words come out, and instead it just shuts off. And you hear from behind the door, "Oh, come on! What are you doing? Why are you here? It's been years." She's
I just
obviously
kinda
like been yelling heavily, as you can hear her voice cracking several times.
I just kind of wanted to talk about what's going on around here.
About what? What do you want to talk about? It's been years, literally. We have not had any contact.
That's fair. I just want to know what's going on in the Kryn. I want to see the new updates. You know, the news about going on around here. I'm talking to like, I'm not trying to talk to you as, you know, you. I'm trying to talk to you as like, I don't know. I just want to know what's going on around. And,
And why should I help you?
uh, because I'm sorry.
Ugh. The door opens, and on the inside, you see. Do you have a description for this woman?
I
Or
do.
yeah, you can tell your description because you created this person forever ago.
I did create this character a long time ago. The name's Phelan, not Phalith. That's my other character.
That's three people named Faye.
Yeah, and I've always had her name Phelan. She was the first Fae.
That's true.
And then Phalith was the second, then we have Faye, which was the third one. Phelan is a level 9 mage with she's a drow. She has nice white glowing goggles with long. It kind of looks like tentacle like it goes out like tentacles like the hair does, and it's a bright orange. They have purple sleeves going down and like through their hand to their glove becomes like a pink. They have a light gray like robe that goes all the way down. You can't even you can barely see their legs. They have a red belt, also purple. I don't know if she'll be wearing them anymore, but she did have the purple pants that did say crawfish on them. I don't think she's gonna keep that anymore, will she?
No, she is not wearing anything relating to you at all.
It's just say she scratched it out, I guess, and then has
Burned it.
big white iron boots, and you see like probably like 10 daggers around the belt,
All right.
like blue eyes.
Uh, the only alterations you note is that her orange hair seemingly is like bleached out and far more faded. Likely she either hasn't maintained it or is trying to go back to the natural white of most drow. And yes, the outfit you described with crawfish on it, anything written or anything that you gave her, more or less, is now replaced for a fresher, newer version without any stitching, and seemingly like without your name stitched on it or anything, and seemingly not that much different, but like from the original item that you gave her, but just having it be a actually different item probably brings some relief. She waves you inside though and slams the door behind you. And on the inside of this tower, you know that it is a strange cluster of items. Like she has a sitting room, but it's only like two chairs of a sitting room. That's it. It's like two chairs and a coffee table. Uh, and off to the right, there is like what looks to be a whole bunch of alchemical equipment just stacked on top of each other. Like this could be a meth lab for all you know, and you would have no clue the difference between it. You know that there is like a massive shelf with just looks to be hundreds of handles of blades in very small compartments, probably just sheaths stuck into a wall. And she seems to just have like 100 plus blades in there. A new collection. She didn't have that before. You only see one other room that connects to this at the moment. The wizards' towers are finicky. And it looks to be a kitchen that she was probably cooking in, as the room is filled with a weird, like, steamy fog of something that is probably being slightly burnt, to which she begins to head that direction to try and save the dish. But also, it smells like some sort of mushroom dish that you used to eat in here. And the dining table itself is made of a bluish crystal-like glass. Like it feels like a smoothed out diamond more than it does regular glass. And as hard as that as well. And she sets down her dinner plate and just goes, "Don't expect me to feed you. I did not make it a second serving."
Oh, no way. I'm about to have dinner with a couple friends.
Fair enough. What
Uh,
information do you want?
I was want to know what's going on with the is it the Blight or the Bright Queen? I don't really remember.
Bright Queen?
Got it. I want to know what's been going on around there. Just some like if there's been any. I'll give a description of Godwin's brother to her and see if she knows if he's around.
Someone of that description that came around not too long ago, a month back or so. They were asking for help for anyone who might know what was, the affront to nature they kept referring to. More or less why things are kept in their permanent stasis outside the walls. The barbed fields having those weird spike things, and the outside of this being haunted by ghosts. Yeah, this is more or less. He came through. He stood out because he asked questions.
Okay. I don't know why we never even try to scry on him. I know Godwin has it. He hasn't even tried that.
I mean,
Yeah,
druids are pretty good at resisting it. That's
that's
probably
fair.
why.
Yeah. Anything about the queen here?
I mean, nothing more than usual. There were some pacts struck up recently. Uh, Empire Menagerie, technically a defense pact, linked them together. Other than that, the Dwendalians have denounced us yet again and are trying to spark more conflicts on the border. To which we've begun burrowing under their earth to, destabilize and prepare for any war efforts that may need to come. Other than that, the Drugar are continuing their fight as always, though seemingly have figured out a way to use the dunamantic skills that we use, and therefore have become slightly more dangerous. Other than that, I'm not sure what you want to know.
Well, that helps a little bit. I think. I think Nimi has to do something with the queen. They're like a sole survivor of like a camp around.
So
So
Nimi's your new girl, is she?
no, no, I am single. No, no.
As you say, I am single. You hear a scoff inside your head.
Well, you see, single towards uh like Drows. I am happily talking with someone and points towards the shield and like sweats a little. Anyways, I wanted to just also one more thing. I wanted to apologize for what I've done.
What do you mean by that? You mean no, just seemingly abandoning me?
Yeah.
walking out after getting in trouble to the point where you burned a tavern down. Not tavern, orphanage, was it?
Yeah, it was an orphan. Yeah.
Yeah, and you ran out. You didn't face no consequences. You left them to investigate my house and lock me up for about a week to try and figure out where you were. They wanted me to tell everything I knew, and I must have been part of the plan.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to apologize for. Speaking of that place, anything is not friendly towards me anymore.
That's strange. He stopped by here once again not too long ago, maybe a month or two ago.
Huh? What do you say?
Well, he came in here looking for you. He once again pretty much asked if you had came back at any point, and if I ever saw him or ever saw you, to message him.
Please don't. I please he So the place where the planking is, I forgot what it's called. We had a little feud. He became dragon form, and he got kind of mad. Please don't tell him here.
I mean, it's what you get for messing with a dragon, especially a red. But no, I won't tell him you're here, because then he would come back. And I
Well,
never
actually,
liked the man.
He actually started the fight that we had there. So
Yeah, exactly. He's a red.
that's fair. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, but wait a minute. We're not going to skip over what you said half a second ago that you just kind of glanced off. You're talking to your shield? What do you mean you're talking to your shield?
Dude, I don't have a way to tell her. Well, you see, it kind of has a mind of its own, and it's kind of alive. You can see I'm like
You have a
struggling to
cursed
try to
weapon?
communicate.
You wield a cursed shield and are now in love with it?
I'm a living curse. My sword is kind of like a weird thing. The shield, I guess, someone said it had a cursed property to it. One of my old armors gave me a disease that made I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be my fire turn on, like my skin turn on fire, but it never did, or something like that. Yeah, no, I'm not
Maybe I
having.
dodged a bullet, man.
I have.
No, me. Maybe I dodged a
Oh.
bullet with you.
Yeah, and I still got the lightning arm. Yeah.
I can see that.
Mhm.
Well, anything else you need to know? You and your shield. And you can see she's like grinning to herself and just smiling at you in like that way where she's obviously making fun of you for it.
She can immediately tell that he is kind of like worried for his own sake, not like being like, "Oh, I'm dating this shield." He's like, "Oh, this shield wants to date me," kind of face. Like, please, like, kind of like, be like make face of like, "Please help me, please, please help." Uh, yeah. I'm a, I'm gonna thank you and sorry again. I gotta go.
Alright.
Have fun with that meal. I actually really like that meal.
Too
Gotta go.
bad.
Yeah, I still like fish more than mushrooms. So.
Always did. I hate fish. She opens the door with a flick of her wrist, a gust sending it open. And don't come back unless you have something you want to actually pay me for. And the door shuts behind you as you exit outside the tower.
See, I told you, mommy. They don't like me. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the group.
And
Lightning bolt
inside, as you
strikes.
say that, it's just good. I wouldn't want to hurt anyone so innocent.
Oh, they're not that innocent.
Well, then it would be even easier. And as you return, are you going to plant a seed outside?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, roll a D100 as no one's going to stop you. How
Alright.
okay? How
Can't.
close are you planting it to the main building?
Is there any, like, forest around or anything?
There's the tree. There's the one big glowing tree in the yard.
Oh, the glowing tree?
Yeah, that's the only foliage other than the grass, which is actually surprisingly thriving in this plot alone.
Oh, do I want to, like, make everybody mad at me in this city, too?
Of
What do you
course you
mean?
do. You're William.
John,
You
there's some
already
stuff.
have the city.
Oh, yeah, the
Already
city
have
already.
the city after you.
Yeah, the city also already hates me. Screw it. I'm just gonna do it just like close to where, like, kind of like the middle ground between, probably like the middle of the street. You said where I was like from Skins to, Faye. I'm going to plant it like in between there somewhere.
No idea
Where
what
there's
skins to Faye is meant to mean in that
skins
sentence.
where Skins and them are, and Faye is
Oh, you're
like
gonna
kind of in the in
plant it
between.
outside of the plot. You're gonna plant it in the middle of like the road.
Yeah.
Okay, you like knock up a loose stone tile and throw your seed in there and let it drop. Roll a d100 as you wait a minute to see what to happen. Also,
Let me
how
get
far are you getting away from this?
oh, right next to it.
That's super
Okay.
smart. I would definitely do that if I were you.
Actually, no. I'll probably stay away. I'll stay like 25 feet away.
How
Okay,
many
let me look.
How many beans do you have in that thing?
12.
Oh God. You're on max?
Yeah, I did actually. I did roll max.
Uh,
Oh. Okay. Wait. What?
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 A nest of 1d4 plus 3 eggs spring up. Any creature that eats an egg must make a DC 20 Constitution saving throw. On a success, a creature permanently increases its lowest ability score by 1.
Okay, now
Oh,
that is a little busted.
On a failed save, they take 10d6 force damage.
That is not. No, I'm not gonna have that happen. I'm
Okay, you
just
want me to
gonna
reroll?
say,
Me
I
reroll?
did when I thought it was a powerful bag of beans. I did not mean that powerful bag of beans.
Me reroll?
I'm gonna look up the bag of beans real quick and actually
Okay.
look at it instead of just going, "Oh, it's rare. It's probably good on wild magic. A permanent +1 to everything."
I'll have a I would have a 10 intelligence.
Oh, it doesn't even have that many abilities. It's like,
Yeah. There's only like 8, I think.
oh my god, dude, this is actually busted. There's no. All of these are good too. Like none of these are actually that bad.
Oh, come on. Well,
I'll let you
I mean,
temporarily until the next long rest increase your stat by 1. Not
oh.
permanent, but yes, you can eat those eggs and you can increase your lowest ability score by 1 uh, for the next till the next long rest if you save that save.
Or do you
I don't know.
or
I
do you
think
or do you
Damien
want me
could
to
probably
reroll?
get out by that.
If you re-roll, they're all busted, Damien. Like 90% of these are busted. They're gonna have to. If anything that remains permanent, I'm gonna have to make temporary.
Well, I'll just roll and see what I get. Okay. A fruit tree grows as a D10 plus 20 fruit, a D8 of which act as randomly determined magic potions, while one acts as an ingested poison of the DM's choice. The tree vanishes after 1 hour.
Okay, that one's normal.
Big fruit remains retaining any magic for 30 days.
Sure, I'll let you do that one instead for now.
What
But
number
the ability
is
score
the
one, I'm just gonna
poison?
make temporary instead of permanent.
Okay, which one? What number on the D8 is poison?
8.
8.
So just make sure to roll a d8 every time you eat one of those.
3.
What?
What's a 3? What's a 3 on a D8? What kind of potion is it?
They're randomly determined magic potions.
Yeah, you get the
Um,
choose.
I'm gonna say 1 through 3 is going to be basic, greater healing potions.
Once we're rolling a D10, what how many fruit there are? Okay, so there is 25 fruit.
And I have to make 25 magic potions. I have to give you 25 potions. Is that what you're saying?
If I pick all of them,
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you?
yeah, fair.
Okay, I'm gonna make these relatively not extraordinarily expensive
I
items.
I
I'm
think
gonna.
Damien's reading it wrong because it says 1d8 of which act as randomly determined magic. I think it's only just 8 of them,
Oh yeah, roll a D8. 5 of which are magic potions. The rest are just fruit.
and one's a poison.
One's
Okay.
poison.
So you have 5 potions, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yes. And I have a D5 actually.
Okay. So one of them you know is the oil of slipperiness.
Oh, wait.
One's a
Okay.
potion of climbing. One is a potion of hill giant strength. One of supreme healing. Do I have one more to list?
That was oil, climb, hill giant strength,
And
and
supreme.
supreme.
All right.
That's all of them because the last one has to be a poison.
No,
Yes.
that's supposed to be poison.
But you don't know particularly which one's the poison. So, whenever you eat one of these, you know what effects they do, and that's 1 through 4. The 5 is poison. So just roll a d6 or whatever, or d5 or whatever it becomes, and the highest number will kill you with poison. Not kill
Alright,
you,
I'm
but
gonna.
how much damage does the poison do?
I don't know. It just says one of which is poison, so I guess it's maybe up to
Oh,
you.
okay. I'll just decide a poison then.
Alright, I'm gonna roll a D5 right now.
It's gonna
You
be
ready
fun.
for one
One.
of those?
Damien.
One's a oil slipperiness.
Yeah, look that up. I'm not sure exactly what that does. I forget already. Actually, no, I think I know what this does.
3.
It's a sticky black container. Flows really quickly when poured, though. It covers the entirety of your body, along with any equipment you're carrying. It doesn't take 10 minutes. It takes immediately, because you leak it out of your pores. You have freedom of movement for the next 8 hours.
What is that?
You can't be restrained difficult terrain
Difficult
doesn't slow
terrain
you.
doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I can't be paralyzed or restrained.
All right. Now that you know your things like that, are you returning to the group?
Yeah, you gotta see me kind of just skate on the floor with nothing. And he just slides to you guys. You guys just see a tree with all kinds of fruit around.
Yeah, he's sliding around the street. All right, so Nim, we jump back to you. You head your way out, and while William is gone, head instead back to the large, ornate palace. Heading there in more or less hope that you would be recognized and believed, while also hopefully not detained for any questioning. As you enter the front entrance little section, you find yourself, instead of in one of the side passages, instead in the main guest hall area, and see that there is a receptionist desk with what looks to be a furbolg, very, very messy furbolg. His tuxedo's scuffed up, and he's
Kirby.
sitting down very sleepily, as apparently no one's entered today, or at least not enough to keep him awake. As you approach, he perks up. Just goes, did you guys even hear what I mumbled? No. Well, I'll just say it instead, that he mumbles when he speaks to the point where it's nearly unintelligible. But he more or less calls out as you enter. What's your business? Why do you need to see the Bright Queen? And who are you? Yeah, I just need to know that. He makes the list. I'm assuming you're going to tell them who you are. Because you're going to have to type everything out if I don't assume some things during this little... But telling them who you are, why you want to see the Bright Queen, and pretty much what's your business here, and why you have a reason to see. He just kind of nods his head slightly in a very groggy manner. All right, follow me. Well, she's gone.
That was me.
Oh yeah, never mind. Who's gone then? Someone's gone.
My alt.
Oh, your alt. But he stands up and leads you to what looks to be a smooth stone door that he kind of rolls and slides out of the way. He mumbles once more, "They'll be with you in a few moments. It's like an antechamber." You're not going to scry. You're not going to cast spells in there. If you do, you'll be detected, and they will arrest you. Remove all weapons off your person before you enter. If you do carry a weapon in, you will likely be arrested unless they deem it necessary for you to have, for some reason. It may be anywhere from 5 minutes to several hours. You have to wait. Be patient. If you ever get bored enough, just leave. I am intrigued as to what that means. Kill beer. What does kill beer mean? Kill bear. What bear? What bear are you talking about? Okay, never mind. You're just playing a game, so I guess kill bear means nothing in this scenario. But he finishes mumbling rant and slides the stone door shut behind you, and you're left in a very bland, more or less like mini prison cell here, like a holding cell. There's just 2 benches, which you pretty much are forced to sit on. About half an hour passes when a knock sounds at the other side of the chamber from where you entered. And several armor-clad people, each wielding glaives and heavy armor, roll open the door, all drow, obviously highly trained, and they wave you inside. One just goes, "Right keen to see ya. Something to do with the fall of a outpost, correct? Several years back? If that's you, follow us. If not, shut the door." And they begin to walk towards what looks to be a very elaborate throne room. The throne itself is more hexagonal than it is a normal throne. The seat has uncomfortably sharp looking edges as she is sitting on it. There is on the back what looks to be octagonal designs all around where her back would rest. Instead of it being a regular chair back, it is one of those really garbage chair backs to the point where it becomes comfortable again, as there are so many shapes of the same pattern, all of different colors and materials to make it obviously stand out, each hexagon, or octagon, I mean. The armrests even are made of these octagon metallic structures, wide enough that way she can easily rest her arm or arms. She is carrying what looks to be a long staff, once again octagonal, with what looks to be on the head a very small, slightly pulsing gray, you guessed it, octagonal shape. It's obviously a magical staff of some power, and she rests easily leaning in the chair, but the chair is probably the least spectacular part of this. The entire room is made of what looks to be a icy marble white. The entire room is made of some sort of material that is beyond what you understand can really exist. And obviously very, very, very old. This material is probably before the Calamity, and is obviously extremely durable, as none of it shows any wear or tear. The room itself has several layers to it. You guessed it, 8 layers to it. It's obviously a great pattern they seem to love here. The layers escalate in a short staircase-like pattern, and beneath each layer there is, beneath the queen, about 3 people sitting around a table. Beneath them, around 12, and it escalates to the point where at the bottom layer, just before where you're standing, there is probably 40 people in a long table. And you recognize this is their way of delegation in deliberation. certain things can be handled by the lowest of the staircase, and some things go all the way back up to the Bright Queen of the staircase. But also, all can be heard, so no secrets could easily be kept here. And you also note that just walking in, the armor clinking on your equipment echoes to the point where you understand that even a whisper would likely be audible all the way up several stairs at least to some people above, higher up. And as you enter, some of the guards in the lowest section call out in almost a unanimous, synchronized manner. State your business. Will be gone. If it's not important, leave it at the first step. And it's a weird, it almost sounds like it echoes in a chant, but it's just the echo of the room's white marble ice-like material. Of course, you tell them who you are yet again, confirming your identity. And the first stair deliberates and passes it up, and passes it up, and passes it up. You don't quite get to the Bright Queen before the step just below her, those three stand up, seemingly a goblin woman, relatively young. There is a drow man. He looks to be middle-aged, so he's probably fairly old. And what looks to be a bugbear, though you can't tell age because of all the fur, though it seems to be mostly gray. They communicate amongst themselves before one of them, specifically the drow, taking position as seemingly the leader of the troop, in this moment at least, more or less asks, if you are who you say, or states, if you are who you say you are, then it's intriguing how you survived. Why did you wait 2 years to return? Were you afraid of punishment, or is there something you were trying to hide? What is your reason for not returning immediately, if you survived? Being a cleric of relative power, you probably could have made your way back here, or sent a message to do so.
She's typing.
Had things to do, and people to pick up along the way. I'm not sure you picked up anyone, though. If you did, they died on the journey or aren't here. No one you knew from a past life you were picking up. They're not here, at least. And things to do, I mean, I understand that, but wouldn't you want to at least alert the Empire that we have before getting on with those things? We never held you. They're in town. Why did they not come, if they are important? But also, you're saying more from your journey, more from the outpost survived? Because if so, why did none of them ever at least tell us that it had fallen? If you're okay, the story's already not making sense, miss. You're the only survivor, but you had people to pick up. Those people, therefore, you could not have known in your past life. You mean you found people in the waste of Aur. Not that you picked them up. That means you were saved or captured by people in the middle of Isocross. Yes. That doesn't explain to me why your loyalties weren't with the dynasty. We sent you out there in a bit of faith to the troop. You were probably the only person out there that apparently decided they didn't want to share the experience of, I don't know, a devastating loss and a traumatic experience with any person who could communicate it along. And instead journeyed with these saviors for God knows how long, and now they're in our town. Sounds to me like you were delaying coming back for some reason. And you understand that there is a sense of suspicion in his voice. Very, very evident. You were delaying coming back. But why were you delaying coming back? Yes, you had things to do and people to pick up. As you said, your protectors or whatever. They saved you. And so that doesn't explain why you were delaying. That still doesn't quite match any sort of prerogative you should have taken. I don't quite understand it, but maybe it makes some sense. We'll deliberate further, I guess, but to me that sounds like a delay for no reason, for new people you have not met nor know. A delay that was necessary only to them and nothing to benefit you. I don't quite comprehend why you would ever take that deal, per se.
Welcome.
Skins dies.
Yep, Skins dies of cardiac arrest.
Skins rolls
Cardiacs.
over on the floor.
Yeah, that's what Skins does.
He bites his own tongue off,
Nice.
so he can't be the leader anymore. That would be a boss move. That would be a gamer move by Skins. I don't want to be the leader. Tears out his tongue so he can't be.
Skins becomes hollow like immediately. Just from the inside out. No reason why. He's just stubborn.
I can tell Willow was like trying to think. Why did I delay necessarily? Why did it make sense to delay?
Oh.
This deal was terrible. Why did I do it? It doesn't make sense.
I mean, to be fair, it was a terrible deal because I mean, you met William.
Any deal where William is now acquainted with you is a relatively bad deal. Because your life is extremely dangerous after that point. What's done is done. People are dead and I'm here. Yes. That sounds oddly like a confirmation that you were at fault for the destruction of the location. It's just me, though. Do any of you hear that as well? The other one, like the goblin kind of shrugs a little bit. The other's like, maybe. Well then, seems like to us, at least, right there's an admittance of guilt. Unless you have some reason for not caring what happens to us. They don't necessarily... No, you're the only one who has any idea what happened up there. They know that the place was wiped out, they never heard anything about it, and you're the only one telling them about it. Unless you tell them things, they're not going to know it. The only reason they suspect you is because you're the only survivor and seemingly don't care. That's so funny. It was a dragon. after them claiming that that is so outlandish sounding. Oh, it was interesting. Now, do you think that makes sense to me? That sounds like a fallback plan that you didn't quite think through. And they helped you kill the dragon, the group you're with now. Once again, it still doesn't make a difference, does it? Yeah, at this point, I think this guy is like getting real snobby. He's like, "You're repeating yourself. I'm gonna keep repeating myself. I'm gonna keep saying that you did this." He's like set his mind a little bit too harshly, it seems. What, Sean? What you gonna say?
Oh, that works. That works.
Ah,
Ooh.
okay, yeah. You pull out a white dragon's eye, very large, very moldy and emaciated and rotten and gooey, but very valuable. Therefore, you kept it preserved in salt as best you could. Casting gentle repose when available.
What are you guys talking about?
Nimi just put out a dragon eye to prove her claim that she fought a dragon.
Oh yeah, that thing's like rotted.
Yes. The the leader of the troop at the moment just goes, "No, that does change things." Well, seems to me that right there is definitive proof that, luckily for her and us, that we didn't have a betrayer in our midst. They look up at the Bright Queen and just go, "I think it's up to you to decide what her reward should be for returning alive, proving that she fought a dragon and killed it, and bringing us what seems to be powerful heroes that, since they're in our town, are likely at our disposal. If they were in Aor, they're obviously for hire, unless they're intellectuals themselves, in which we could probably employ them for research. It's your decision, miss. Or, it's your decision, queen. My queen. It's up to you to decide any fate bestow this woman." You call out, "Heroes is arguable." And they all kind of just look back at you, and the Bright Queen stands up and taps her staff on the ground to steady herself on seemingly relatively weak feet. And you understand that the main reason that she has this staff in the first place isn't because it's a magical staff. She probably needs a cane to walk. She is so strong enough in magic, probably, to be a strong leader. But physically, if she got in a melee combat, similar to Godwin, she would fold like a pancake. She stands up and just goes, "Well then, I assume there's some deals you would like to make and some trades you would like to employ here. I think you should get some recompense for the struggles and us not searching for you, and us just thinking everyone was dead mysteriously. We underestimated you, and I'm sorry for that. I will personally reward you from our coffers, and probably those heroes as well, though I will let you decide how much you give to them. Does that sound agreeable to you?" It does. Thank you, and thank you, miss, for returning, at least trying to return, even if it took you a relatively very long time. She calls out to the lower levels and to the guards in the area. "Stand down, this woman's not harmful in any way. Lower the illusions, or at least the parts you know you should. Break the ice for a moment." And she eases herself back down in the chair. "If you ever need work, we will offer you one starter job, because we know you've killed a dragon. Therefore, we know you can do some good things, especially with the people around you. We pay well, and we will pay consistently. The jobs are dangerous, but so are you, I assume. Have fun. I will give you 5 minutes. and the guards begin to take their glaives and stab into one of the ice walls, which seemingly begins to chip away, though you know this material could not do so easily, and it is likely a false version of the material. And as the glaives crack through a thin layer, they peel it back like a weird layer of goo. Like it's like webbing that is like layered with water and has slightly frozen over. And it is pried back and reveals a secret room to which several guards destroy the doorway to fairly quickly. And inside, you know something that you should be able to see from here, but obviously, since a magical enchantment is placed on it, can't. Because with this slightly see-through glass-like ice and marble structure in the area, the mithril veins surrounding, you could probably see this room if it weren't magically hidden. On the inside, you know what looks to be a gigantic, ancient, sleeping white dragon. Similar to the one you fought before, though older, much so older, to the point where you don't know if this classifies as ancient anymore, and it seemingly is fast asleep. Inside that room, you also know the largest hoard of gold you've ever seen. The Plank King's treasury mimicked what heroic piles of gold would look like on a mural. This right here is, if you walk in the room, and you do begin to walk in the room almost subconsciously, the room itself is 200 foot wide, 150 foot tall. The dragon is probably from tail to tail 80 foot. And if you extend its wings, you could probably see its wingspan reaching up to 120 foot. And it's resting atop probably, if I had to guess, about 40 feet of solid coinage and gems with rare, valuable swords piled in. And around in the mound, in the corners of the room, where the ice actually finishes into the dome-like structure that is this room, you note several valuable-looking creatures as you see several golems standing there looking down, either in defense or, as you know a moment later, with little tags on them. And you can immediately guess, with any arcane knowledge you have, those tags likely control some of these golems. If not, any golem that has it controls that one. You were told you were going to get 10 minutes in here. You're not sure what that means yet, but you know behind you, with your really high perception, a guard counting down. 56, 54, 52, and he's waiting to say it every other second.
Get the money!
So he's counting down. What do you do with your time in this room? You have 40-foot high mound of solid golden gems, and you have golems to your left and right.
Hey.
Okay, so you're just going to begin stuffing gems and coinage into your bags, yes? Okay, so you begin to stuff gems and go into the top of the mound where the riches are the most valuable. First, I want you to make a dexterity check to see how much you can scoop in. And I also, unless you want to stealth from the dragon, or do you, that's not what I'm to say. Do you want to stealth from the dragon? So dexterity check and stealth. So dexterity is a nat 20. You begin to pile coins in. What? Oh, you don't want to stealth from the dragon. Okay. You begin to pile coins into, necessarily, I don't think you have the magic bag, so there is a limit to what you can carry.
We could have gave it to her.
You wouldn't know she was doing this. You took it
Fair.
out to there. She was not saying this to you. You have a finite amount you can carry and fill it up to its capacity quickly. You are carrying like 40 pounds of gold. What this equates to, I will just say, is probably 10,000 gold on your person alone. comprised of platinum, gold, and gems, and several swords that you shove in empty sheaths that are also very fine. Spending maybe an hour or two, you could probably turn this into a solid 10,000 gold if you wanted to. Though some of them might look magical as well. You might not want to sell them that quickly. Walking up to the dragon, you hear it sniff deeply, its breath almost sucking you into its nostril. With how large it is, it could probably fit your entire head in its nose. And as it sniffs, it opens one of its eyes, a sharp blue, sharper than the last dragon you saw, and an old wisdom-filled eye just slightly peeks open and gazes at you. And it huffs slightly. Do you speak Draconic, Nim? Just so, hi! Do you speak Draconic? Yeah. To talk to dragons, you're gonna have to know a bunch of languages, man.
I don't know if she does.
I don't know either. If not,
I'm
you might
racist.
be to do a broken.
I'm
What was
racist.
that? Just, I'm racist.
No, but common, elvish, goblin, orcish is what she had down.
You walk up and say hi to the dragon, to which you hear a deep growl that like shakes coins off the top of the mound down toward the bottom. You hear it speak in Draconic slightly, and it immediately catches on that you don't understand what it's saying. So it just kind of slowly sits up on its mound, and you see that the gold with just its weight has compressed into a huge, solid gold block. With how heavy this thing is, it is compressing the gold into actual solid gold, like a huge chunk. There's probably a 30-40 pound chunk of gold just in the top layer that this guy was laying on, in one solid piece. He speaks in relatively broken common, not speaking super well in that language, but he does know some of it enough to more or less speak out in its deep voice, far beyond my ability to replicate. So you want my gems? That's nice. You know the treasure still holds value here. No, you don't. Then why did you fill pockets full? Pockets of gem. Why? He begins to slowly close the gap. His teeth begin to show slightly. And you note that the teeth themselves are elongated by his breath, spreading ice over them, adding a second layer of teeth, more or less. Yes? I was sleeping on it, wasn't I? He begins to slowly breathe on you, sending a chill down your spine as frost just slowly leaks out of the front of its mouth. I'll permit you to take some. Don't worry. But you'll have to do something for me. Are you willing to work for your cash? It'd be easy. Bring one of your friends. And at this point, he goes quieter than he normally does after saying, be one of your friends. And he thinks on it for a moment, and in a weird, extremely quiet voice. Like, he must be trying so hard to make his voice as quiet as possible. And tell them to get me the hell out of here. Bring someone who can teleport me away, and I'll give you all the gold you want. Done. Are you willing to bind yourself by that deal? If you don't bind yourself by the deal, then there is no deal. If you do, you'll let me bite your arm and leak my ice into it. If I do that, it's the same thing as my treasure. I always know where ice from my creation is. Similar to one of blood magic, you could say. And you, even like his whispering voice is loud enough to almost like push you back, like he would be shouting in a normal conversation. And he seemingly, like, this room does have a echo property to it, so that doesn't help its conversational prowess here. And you notice several of the guards begin to look around slightly at each other, to which the dragon just glares at them. And they seemingly forget as their eyes no longer seem worried.
Don't bring me into this. Fine, I'm down to it.
Good. Good deal. Just act like you've harassed me and I've got annoyed. And then he lashes out and is going to bite into your arm. Even a dragon such as yourself shouldn't be shut away. Are you willingly going to let him bite in your arm? Because you just said to do so. But I want to make sure you know that this is his deal
Tell her
of
what
contract
happened.
here.
Tell her it could happen because she's relatively new to all
Yeah.
this.
What this means is, I mean, it's very simple what this means. He knows where you are, and he's threatening that he will come and kill you if you don't get him out of this place. It's kind of a contradiction, because how would he kill you if he can't get out of this place? But he seems confident enough. And all this means is that you would have a, like long-lasting chilled sensation in your arm, and know that he can know where you are. Like, every time he tries to pay attention to where you are, your arm will go chilled slightly. Not like freezing to death, but you'll get like a shudder of cold up your arm. And he seems to be aggressive, massive, but more territorial and begging for escape, as he's probably been locked in here for God knows how long.
And if you release him, I don't think good things are going to be happen.
I don't
Yeah.
think Willow cares. I don't think
It's
Willow
very
cares.
So you let him bite your arm then.
strange alignment.
You, following his lead, act as if you provoke him slightly, poking one of his scales, to which he growls. You poke it twice more, and he lashes out with a bite, which you put your arm up to defend. Like, your pitiful shield gets surrounded entirely by his teeth. And only reason you keep your arm is because he stops his bite before he tears it off. The teeth just barely sinking, barely for him, several inches in your arm, and you feel a chill run into it, as if poison ice was entering your veins, and it's like you immediately get the sense that you're freezing to death, but he lets up, letting his mouth go away, and your arm is bleeding profusely, closing it with a quick healing spell. I'm not going to care about damage, because you're not going to take damage in this encounter. You're not going to fight him. So, and no one's going to fight you, because they technically, with his technical mind wipe ability, not able to really tell that he's doing this. He then growls in some satisfaction, just goes, "Yes, that's good. Take anything you want. Take a golem. Have it carry your gold for you. Come back, however. If you betray my trust, I will get out of here one day. I don't care if you do it or someone else does. You're a drow. You live long enough. I'll get my revenge. I'm close. I'm almost large enough to break through this ice. This damned immortal ice. A few more years. Just a few more. And I'll be the bust right out of here. So you go ahead and betray me. But for now, take your golem. Take as much gold as you want. They're going to try and take you out of here in 10 minutes. I won't let them if you want to stay. I'll just lay myself in front of the door. Go ahead, grab as much as you want." And he begins to stand up, and shuffles way down the mound in an awkward backslide where every step thunders and flattens gold. And he lays a wing next to the door, blocking it. To one of the guards end up shouting, and several more you hear rushing out. And you take a tag off a golem, and you know a massive iron golem immediately shoots to life. Its eyes glowing a deep bluish color, obviously mimicking the dragon's eyes, as he is vain, heavily. You have it pack gold in, fistful after fistful. And all in all, with the amount you can carry, I would say you managed to harvest 30,000 gold before you are forced to exit.
Oh.
You have no more carry capacity. The golem's sack is full. Your sacks are full. It is carrying a shitload of swords stuffed into its gold bag, just attempting to carry more. You now have an iron golem and 30,000 gold, to which the dragon lifts its wing and just goes, "Go. Bring your friends as soon as you can. Don't rush it, though. If it takes time, it takes time. I can wait. Not too long. If I break out of here myself, I will get you." And he goes back to laying on his mound and immediately falls back asleep. The guards begin to shout, and the Bright Queen even suffers herself to stand again, and she calls out, "Are you okay? We couldn't get in there for a moment. Did it hurt you? I can see your arm. It's not faring well. Do you want us to kill him? We've been waiting for a reason for a long time." You're brave to say that. So you could have severed your arm if he chose to. I guess. I don't want to kill him. He is our trump card, by the way. That is what we use. If anyone tried to break in here, he would be a perfect asset. I don't know why you necessarily need to know that, but you are seemingly very loyal. To the point where you wouldn't die until you got back. So, enjoy whatever he gave you, I guess. Though he will be asking for more from the treasury. He's more sentient than you or me, I'm afraid. He's lived one life uninterrupted before the calamity. I've lived many, but interrupted. Therefore, he's lived a fuller life than I. He is beyond any comprehension I have. He is animalistic, as most whites are, but he's evolved beyond that, I suppose. Either way, we need to get back to our political things, discussing the fate of the menagerie and the empire and what to do about aggressions. Yes, find your way back to whatever quarters you rest in. I thank you for your service, and once again I offer you good deals anytime you come here. For the thanks to that. I guess find your friends and talk to them about what you found. And she sits herself back down, slamming her cane against the ice several times. And then she begins to more or less talk with the three higher-ups, and they begin back into their court session, to which the guards begin to try and shuffle you out, but, it's like they're trying to push you away, but they're not going to get near that golem. So they're trying to be intimidating and oh, you better get moving, but they probably wouldn't force you to move if you didn't move. But once you find your way out of the room and back through the front exit, the sleepy furbolg immediately shoots awake, hearing and seeing an iron golem walk towards him. But as you peacefully pass, he passes back out, probably of fright, but probably not like the old man. You recognize he is still breathing. I guess find your way back to the apartment where the rest of your friends are. Yeah, you find your way back there. William has returned relatively quick, or not relatively quickly, relatively shortly before you, and your golem can't fit in the house. And you explain to them as your golem begins to transfer gold to you, and your party wondering what's happening, what just transpired.
So an ancient white dragon is now watching us?
If she decides to tell us that.
He said, I'll tell him. She literally just said that.
Okay. Skins is going to just stare at Nimmy. Ethan, if you had to say something, go ahead.
No, that was it, pretty much.
Oh,
Oh
I
god.
didn't hear what you said though. Oh gods. Okay.
Here, I got you. I got you.
Okay.
Oh
Skin-
god. There you go.
Okay. Skins is just gonna stare at Nimmy wide-eyed. Assumingly, I can see the mark on her arm, right?
Yeah, even with cleric healing, this scar seems to be one that's remaining.
Skins is just going to stare at her, look at her dead in the eyes. Why? Why
Yo.
did you? Why?
Hey yo, welcome to the Faded Few. I don't know what to tell you, but that's a great entrance to this group. Now we have Phoenix and an ancient white chasing us.
Okay. Yeah. Nimmy. Yes, I see the piles of gold and the golem, but a dragon.
Well,
You.
we are going to save it, aren't we?
I don't think we should.
We're going to free him. That one.
If the Bright Queen has him locked up, it's probably for good reason.
You know, this is like betraying your entire place. You know, and also we barely survived a white dragon and barely survived a red dragon that were adults. I don't know we're gonna survive an ancient white.
Skin. You can go on, William.
That was I was ending with that.
Okay. I was just making sure you didn't have anything. Skin is going to like stare at William, like surprised that he's even agreeing with him, but he's more so happy. He's going to look back at Nim. We're not freeing him. End of period. No. Why and why would you help a white dragon? Go on.
I don't think it's right to leave him there.
Well, we don't know why he's. That wasn't Bio that said that. That was Godwin.
That was Godwin. Godwin
I-
changes his mind immediately.
Yeah. I do see your point, Godwin. Not really. I don't know why he's locked up, and it's. How much gold was there? Just tell us. He was desperate. A mountain of gold. Okay, it's getting a little bit better on our side to free him. Also, it's still a big dragon.
No. No. You guys said that you guys fought a red one. We fought a white one before. That one killed your people, an outpost of your people, and is locked up by the Bright Queen. Not the same one, of course, but the big one. No.
The red one almost killed our friend Godwin over there. Almost fell off his broom. I thought he was gonna head plant, but then he survived.
Look. I'm okay. A dragon, an ancient one. Yes, but this is a dragon that's locked up by the Bright Queen. Nim, I'm not going to help you free a dragon that could cause more damage than anything else.
How about this? So you told us from if she says she's gonna tell us everything, that means like you told us that we have to go there, we can get as much money as we want, and then teleport them out. Why don't we teleport in there? You know, take the gold and promise them freedom. Teleport out without him.
I think the problem with that, William,
It's an
is
ancient white dragon. He already hates us. He already marked her. He can already see us.
that's the issue. She's marked. He knows where he is. I'm probably not going to be around to fight this thing.
It,
Probably, but
exactly.
this guy is going to kill you, and I'm not going to help and have the whole kryn against us. My
They think
village is in the middle of the Dwindlian Empire and the kryn. If I get the kryn on my back, there goes my village. Nothing stopping anyone from rolling over it.
well, you see
I
the
am not
blight.
helping in this.
Okay, so did you tell us that the blight crane was okay of killing this dragon, Nim, as part of the thing he was telling us about the story? I'm gonna assume so. Why don't we just make it look like an accident? And so, because if they're okay with fighting it, they said they can kill it. I trust them. We free them, make it look like an accident. We kill the dragon. We get a lot of stuff. We look like even more heroes. Maybe a little bit less if we accidentally freed them on accident. There was a big old catastrophe, and then we also take all the gold. Look at that. We only win
Okay,
here.
okay, William. I don't. I know you're not thinking, right? But I'm pretty sure the Bright Queen isn't stupid enough to think that, oh, the dragon just escapes. Oh, it's just gonna magically escape. And while we were there, while specifically Willow was there,
That's fair. Yeah, that's actually fair though. Yeah, she's not that stupid. We usually are around stupid people. Never mind. No, I don't know how we could do this and not get in trouble.
She needs to lose the arm.
What?
She needs to lose the.
Lose
Too
the arm.
dangerous.
would that even work?
She wouldn't be able to cast a lot of stuff and also hold a shield like she always does.
We can get her a new one.
How? Our
Well,
only free
Jester
one
is
was with Jester.
downstairs, isn't she?
Jester hates us, first of all. And Jester said we only had one free use and we gave it to BL.
Well,
I think
we
it
just
would work,
gained
maybe.
40,000 gold.
That is fair. I think we could do this. I still say we teleport in, take gold, leave, and then cut off the arm, and then give a new one by Jester if we can pay her enough. And after we say sorry to her, I think this could work. I think cutting
I
off the arm and getting a new one would help you. Because
I
now
don't
it looks like it's going to come off. I'm going to lie. That kind of looks bad. Probably needs to
I
be
don't
amputated anyways.
I don't think it would work that way. It's a magical effect, William. It doesn't just go away after you just get rid of something. We have to find someone who could help us, but I don't know anyone who could do that. Whatever we do, I am not going in that treasury with you guys. I don't care
Jester
how
could
much
also-
gold it is.
Jester could probably take away the magical effect.
Maybe? I don't
Maybe
know.
if we get enough gold for her, she most likely would do it. I think that's still a good idea. Still as much money, leave. Either try cutting off the arm. If that doesn't work, we go to Jester and heal it and take off the magical effects. Or if we can't cut off the arm, we just fix the magical effects. And then we try our best.
Look, William, I know you probably have faith in this Mighty Nine, but this, from what Willow, or not Willow, sorry, out of character. What Willow has, God damn it.
Nimi.
Yeah, what Nimi has said, I don't even know if Chester could help with this. We can try, we can ask, but Nimi, why did you do this? Skins is like Skins like curls into a ball on the floor and just starts rubbing his head.
At this point, from the staircase behind you guys, like where you guys are back up in your room talking, from the staircase to the entrance of this level, you hear a calm, relatively deep voice, and kind of soothing, even. Call out. What was it you needed to ask about? If it's a fact, I can dispel it. I am relatively versed in the way of magics. Probably more so, though I will not claim to know if I am or not, than your friend there. And from around the corner, you hear, or you see a gray-skinned, pink-haired, or not gray skin, gray furred with pink hair on top where a human's hair would be, furbolg, probably 7.5 foot tall, wearing beetle-like armor, and seemingly just accidentally have overheard your conversation as he's like rubbing his ear as you guys are being loud. If you want me to try, I might be able to, but sounds like to me you've got yourself in some big trouble. Just,
We didn't.
well, unless you want to abandon them, that is.
No, not.
No, if you can do anything, we'd surely appreciate it. Skins is going to look at Nibby disappointingly.
Could you help us sneak a dragon out of a cavern?
That depends.
Ancient White.
Why? I fought an ancient white before.
How hard was it?
Yeah.
We ran away.
Oh.
And that's, I think, where we're going to end this session right there with it. No! It's kind of getting time to end. So I think with that confirmation that they ran away and William crying out, I think that's going to be the end, boys.